got next.
Day to you, and welcome back once again. We are live and direct with another episode of I Got Next, Street Fighter Community Podcast discussion, hosted by discussion moderator myself, Shadow Ace, aka Modern Ace, and Sir Retro, aka the mayor of making himself on production, and for episode number 10. We are about more than halfway through the season here on the show today, and we got a very special guest with us. But before we introduce them, we want to remind you, as always, if you missed out on the previous episode, please feel Reboot Retrocade Gaming's YouTube channel and select the tab that's labeled podcast for that season 1 through season 4 playlist with full episodes, all available on YouTube. Over 40 hours worth of content for your listening pleasure. Whether you're cleaning up the house or cleaning up somebody in Street Fighter, throw the cast on real quick and enjoy the vibes real quick. Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Shadow Ace, one half of the Street Fighter I Get Next team who collabs and moderates these discussions. Been a competitive Street Fighter player for about 15 years now. Started already back to vanilla Street Fighter 4 as my introduction into the FGC community. Played Alferte in 4, Ed in 5, and now Jamie in 6. Commentator, TO, player, podcaster, a man of many hats. And speaking of a man who wears just as many hats as I do, it's Sir Retro. Sir Retro, introduce yourself to the good people.
Hey y'all, for those who do know and those who do not know, I am Sir Retro, the other half of the I Got Next podcast, alongside Shadow Ace. Pretty much specifically, I'm part of the head TO of the Mill Georgia FGC for the grassroots of Reboot Retro Gaming and for the esports organization Swag Out Nerds. Of course, many hats as well, Shadow Ace. I do coach, commentate, run tournaments, run the hands, run the fade, everything in between for the FGC, at least for my scene and a little bit beyond. But of course, been doing it for at least a decade at this point. I'm losing count, so I can't be specific anymore. But definitely thank for Shadow Ace to pretty much bring me on board to be part of this awesome production series. We've been 10 episodes in, 4 seasons in, and definitely excited to see what we have in store for today. Actually, plenty of things have happened in the past few weeks. I think from after the last episode, And of course, very big things. Excited to talk about. Some happened this past weekend. Well, not this past weekend. Well, yeah, technically this past weekend. Um, but yeah. But first, we have a special guest on here for tonight, and very, very, very familiar for us, both of us actually. But it may not be to the folks out there. So, would you like to introduce our special guest for tonight, shall we?
Yes, sir. Before we get into that, and just as Rachel said, here he had introduced himself, but now we host this podcast series called "I Got Next." For today's show, we do indeed have a special guest, as this has actually been long overdue. And honestly, I feel like we should have gotten to speak with them much sooner. So I apologize for that, for the delay. Without further ado, one of our biggest supporters since the very first episode, all the way back. How many years has it been, Sir Richard? How many years have we been? It's, why does it feel so long?
I'm about. I told you I'm
Why
about
does
to
it
lose
feel like
count.
we've been doing it?
I'm about to lose count, man.
Bro, I've lost count. I've lost. It feels like it. Oh my goodness! Man, we're in season 4, so we done like, man, I 30ish something episodes,
Yeah, I
more,
mean,
probably more than that at this point.
and I just plug it in right
Yeah,
quick. I
this
mean,
is it's been a while.
yeah, especially been a while.
Yo, that's
Just actually a testament about it. I put this podcast right here, put on the not the choke, the command in the Discord, and you can see the previous episodes, and you can see how many episodes we've been, how long it's been going, and how many hours you can spend now. I believe at least a week worth of episodes you can listen to now, or more.
man. Well, I mean, I guess the grind continues. The show must go on as we keep moving forward here on our journey. But yes, all the way since back in season 1, FGC Chris, man, he's been with us for a good minute. Tuning in when he can, supporting, tweeting and retweeting, man. We definitely do appreciate you, FGC Chris, man. How you doing today?
Doing good, sir. Doing good. I'd like to take this opportunity to actually thank you and Sir Retro for allowing me to come on your podcast today before I say anything.
Oh no, appreciate you, man. This is, you're the all star here. This is you. This is your episode, man. So thank you for taking your time to, again, to speak with us. I know, getting people together and organizing and setting schedules and appointments and sending reminders and all that stuff. It comes with territory. Some people will say yes. Some people will say yes and then disappear when it's time. Some people will say yes and just never respond. So the fact that you responded back and agreed to do this, that's a big help to us, man. So we definitely do appreciate. But yeah, so FGC Chris, man, tell the good people who you are, man.
Well, how y'all doing tonight? I'm FGC Chris. I came into the scene around 2019. Sir Retro took me in because I was pretty much like a lost puppy out there, thinking I knew how to play the game until Sir Retro sit me down and really dissected my game and pretty much built me up. I guess I would call myself a competitive player, but more so, I just do it for just the love of the game, the love of my scene. I try to go to as many tournaments as I can, Atlanta, down here in Macon, Georgia, pretty much as many as I can to try to help support my guys. And I'm pretty sure it's like that for you guys up there in Atlanta. But I love fighting games. I love my scene. I love my TO. He goes above and beyond for his players. So I ain't got nothing but love for Retro.
For sure, man. Retro's always the hardworking gentleman, man. A man of, like we said before in our intro, a man of many hats, and many talents. Not everybody can do it, man. I mean, this is, you got to be cut from a different cloth to deal with the things that the TOs got to go through and organizers got to go through, and you got to literally be built different, man. It's not for everybody. Everybody can't put on the big hat and just make it happen. So Retro is a veteran. Literally, I could say Retro is a veteran now. As long as he's been doing this, he has some scars. He definitely got the battle scars to prove it for sure, man. The amount of events, the things he's had to organize and deal with. So it's a lot, man. It's a growth to a testament to his character that he just hasn't given up and he's moving forward. And we need people. We need more. Definitely need more people like that out there who's willing to take charge and make it happen. So again, Sir Retro, I mean, he's probably brought in hundreds and hundreds of, well, I'm exaggerated, but he's brought in a lot of people into the scene, introduced a lot of people into the FGC. So big shout outs to Sir Retro for making that happen, man. But got a lot to talk about today, man. There's just been a lot of events going on the last couple of weeks since our last episode here, and I guess we could talk about the most recent thing that just happened this past weekend, which was the Evo Awards. The Evo Awards was definitely something that was new. It was fresh. It was something that not too many people like kind of were expecting, right? Like a award show for fighting games. We had the Hall of Fame. They did a lot of announcements, a lot of improv, a lot of jokes. It was a good event, man. It was a great event. Obama was definitely a really good host. Rob TV, he went up there, he did his thing with the jokes, and there's just a lot of good chemistry back and forth. And it's good to see the members of the community, of the FGC community, putting on a great show. Had thousands and thousands, had thousands of people, over 10,000 viewers worldwide tuning in and watching this event. So this was an amazing production that they put on. So, I mean, we had world premiere trailers, we had reveals, just a lot of things going on with that event, man. So let me ask you guys. I guess I'll start with you, Chris. Were you able to check that event out?
Oh yeah, me and Mr. PSG Joshua, we checked it out. I did like the event. I thought it was something really snazzy. There's some things I could pick apart about it, like they could work on for next year. But overall, I never expected something like this, honestly, for fighting games. Some of the categories, I think they might need to expand them a little bit more to give more like opportunities to people who maybe are less known in the scene. Uh, but overall, I thought the event was actually really nice. A little long because it was like 6 hours, but
Yeah, definitely. I think that'll be something that they'll take away for next year, especially like some of the categories, and maybe something that I mean, well, it's the community that voted for it, but shout outs to those content creators who got multiple rewards and had to keep going back up on stage and stuff. Ohio and Say Jam Sweep. You know what I'm saying? But those
well,
just that
well, he deserved it because
mm-hmm.
out of Evo last year, that was probably the one person out of Evo I could tell you that pretty much if you're not even in the FGC, you knew about him, just how he was celebrating, how he kind of just popped off on everything.
Yeah, he was like really expressive, and really expressive, a lot of emotions, a very unexpected moment to happen. I mean, it was well deserved for them as well. But again, like we were saying, like some of the topics, he was like, "Oh, well, I accept this on the behalf of something. They couldn't be here, so I'll take the trophy." that was kind of funny, but man, it was a really good event. I was able to check out the Marvel vs. Capcom 2, like the Tournament of Champions. That was a really great event. Had four legends, on that event. Man, that was retro. Retro, were you able to check out that Tournament of Champions?
Oh yeah, of course, 2 hour tournament champions. But no, for real though, that type of event is something that I think I say is overdue. I think I wish we could have had it many years ago. Because I think like many players in general, pretty much at this point, deserve many flowers, especially the legacy players that I mean, of course, shout out to John Choi, excuse me, Tokido, and Alex Valle, for example. And I think like of course, it is about fighting games. So what is an event of awards about fighting games without a fighting game showcase, which is really cool. I think it was great. It was a really cool experience to see that. A bunch of managed to kind of fell asleep towards like round 12 something maybe, but for the I managed to catch up on the social media, the awards and so forth. It was pretty cool. It was like it pretty much our Oscar Grammys equivalent. And until this is the very first event, so I can tell that there's going to be some improvements from that point on. But however, I think, like I said, it's a great experience overall. Like I said, Rob TV being a host definitely sells it. Was fantastic, great chemistry, great interaction, everything. Pretty smooth in general too. And like I said, congrats to all the winners of the awards and those who nominated. Congrats to y'all guys being acknowledged as at least, and hope that for next year or so, that like Chris was saying, the potential new generation or current generation, whatnot, gets a chance to be in the spotlight, and they got to be effort to make themselves known, and hopefully people start looking out and so forth. So, but yeah, definitely. Hopefully, I look forward to next year when they do it again, and I'm sure that definitely going to definitely be better. So definitely enjoy it.
Retro,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for
retro.
sure.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the
Did you
oh,
did you know it was hosted by Chipotle?
Of course, is everything's hosted by Chipotle. Chipotle been like the sponsor of the entire of everything lately, so I wasn't surprised.
I
Hey,
mean, get some guac, yo.
yeah, and then like I said, I wish they could if they could have gave out some more tweets or not tweets, some texts for free meals, outros and stuff. For those who are not there, they did it for people who were there. But I mean, yeah,
Yeah, they ran
I
out
don't know,
pretty
man, but
early.
they ran out super early. Cause they said, cause look, I even tested. I was like, all right, watch. Next time it comes up, right? As soon as it pops up on the screen, I'm gonna type the code in and then hit send. I did it, and then it immediately returned to say all the codes are out. There's no
wow.
way. There was no way that people had the just frame reactions to just use those codes and give them out. Nah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Something was up. It was sus. It was sus, sure. But but yeah, that type of event, man, I didn't think fighting games would get to the level of it being its own Grammys, you know. But the fact that it got there and that Evil is one of the hallmark staples of making it happen, that's a huge honor, man. You know, maybe they'll do it like for the Hall of Fame, maybe they'll expand the category a bit for instead of players, not to take anything away from them, like maybe the members in the community that help run events and like TOs and streamers and things of that nature. Maybe they'll be inducted into the Hall of Fame, you know, in the future. But I
Yeah,
know it was again, it was just the first one, and they only had three entries. So maybe next year they could expand it to six, at least six in the next class, because this was the class of 2025. So the class of 2026 will probably be, you know, maybe they'll go over it and then we'll get more entries into that. But I did enjoy it, like the several of the categories that they had on there for the events. They did highlight, you know, some of the online scenes. They did the offline scenes. So the competition. I mean, the nominations for these events kind of high because these are events that are you're going against events that are around the world. So it's kind of like the fact that you even get nominated. I think that's even a big honor to like to see your community stream up there and being nominated. You know, with thousands of people watching. So you know that helps out a big time. But yeah, that was a really good event, man. I enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We got a chance to see the City of the Wolves uh there being played like in an exhibition on how the game runs. It looks so much smooth. Can't wait to get my hands on the beta this week. And then we got trailers for other games too as well. So if people are interested in those games, they can get them. You know, they can check that out. So I agree. I think it was a really good event, man. Really good event, especially for the first time something like that happened. Hopefully, again, we'll get Rob TV and Tasty Steve and everybody else who did it, who hosted this year, have them back next year to make it happen. But
I know.
yep.
Let's try to
So,
get Shadow Ace nominated for Commentator of the Year.
oh nah,
ooh,
not me, man. Nah. I appreciate it, man, but I gotta put legwork in, man. I have to at least get a Capcom event under my belt before I can like even be considered for something like that. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens, man. The sky's the limit. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities for sure in the upcoming future. I think the gateway for fighting games to be recognized by the world is becoming more and more available. So we'll see how it happens. Let's see what the EVO Awards for 2026 is looking like. So before we move on to our first discussion panel for today, do you guys anything else about the EVO Awards? Or we good to go?
No, we're good to go.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, all right. So in that case, then we're gonna move on to the next thing, as we got a big event coming up within 2 weeks, I believe, Capcom Cup 11. You know what I'm saying? I think it's now a great time to put in our classic predictions. The same thing we did the last year and a year before that. We did it 2 years in a row, right, Retro, with the prediction.
Yeah.
I think this time is no stranger. It's no different, yo. So we already got we got our picks. Retro got his picks. I'm sure Chris got his picks on who everyone thinks is gonna make it out these monstrous pools at Capcom Cup is going to present to the world in about 2 weeks, man. March 5th through the 9th. $1 million on the line. And before we even get to, I do have a question. Now, before we get to that, the winner from last year's Capcom Cup, Uma, the jury player, what happened to Uma? Did Uma said, "Nah, I'm good. I got the million. I'm good." We just and that's it.
He took the bag and ran.
I mean, it's like, yo,
I don't blame him.
I got $1 million. I got $1 million. Ain't nothing else I can do, brother. I'm out of here, yo. I mean, I would like to see Uma back again. You know, make him, maybe have an automatic qualification spot for him because he won last year. But he's back. He's back for I mean, is he in Capcom Cup though? I don't think so. His name, unless he's going under a different tag, which is possible. Okay, he's saying he's still playing, but he's playing but he's not in the Capcom Cup. So, but yeah. So what's interesting is that some of these group names are brand new, and some of these names are ones I don't recognize, which is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
This just means that they can disrupt the timeline and cause upsets. So throw your fantasy bracket in the trash type ish, because they push their ticket and earned their spot to make it to Capcom Cup, so they know how to press some buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Not every character will be represented, unfortunately, but there are dedicated specialists who will be representing that Capcom Cup. Me personally, I would like to see Broski's Jamie out there, but I understand he's trying to win, so they'll likely go Aki. A character that continues to get love on every patch. I see you Aki players out there. Don't you hide from me. But
Hey, we got one
for
here.
the most part, we're gonna go by I'm sorry, man.
Oh no, I was saying no. We got one here, but no. I actually posted the Actually, right now I got the picture of the groups and stuff with the characters for the players, and apparently, many of them play like 4 or 5 characters in this case. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
And of course, in addition, before we should start the show, me and Chris were talking about Cat Cammy. Shouts to them. They do the stats of characters usage and representation and stuff like that, and we did a comparison to last year. So last year we had a bunch of Lukes, a bunch of Kens, a bunch of JPs and DJs, and now in comparison for this year, just for like a little background.
That's crazy to think about.
I know, right? And this year, we have 9 Kens, 8 Cammies, or some to consider secondary, 6 Eds and Bisons. Then you have 4 Rashids, 3 Guiles, Zangief, Juri, Akuma. Then 2 Akis, Luke, JPs, Ryu, Terry. 1 Manon, 1 DJ, Chun-Li, Dawson, Kimberly, Blanca as secondary, and no Jamies, no Lilies, no Marissas, and no Hondas this time.
That's wild. That's wild. Yeah, last year it was the Luke show. Now we got a whole new formula going down. I mean, we do have. I mean, there are some Lukes, but they're not as many as it was previously. So something's in the water. Something got changed. The meta developed patches came in. Things got adjusted.
I'm about to say, cause didn't they nerf him pretty hard with his crouching medium punch in the last patch.
Who, Luke?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't change nothing.
Like they. I could have swore
it's
they
still a
took something
good
away
button,
from
but
him.
it's not as yeah, it's like it's still a good button, but it's not as ridiculous as it used to be. Like he can't hit you full screen with it anymore, yo. Basically.
To be fair,
Like they just toned it.
You go ahead.
So but it's still a good button for him.
I mean,
I mean, the other characters they were getting some love and some touches here and there. So yeah, I guess over time we get to see that. We get to see the meta of the game evolve, and now we get more representation and more characters now. You know, now we got Terry. We got Terry in Capcom Cup. That's and there's like a 90% chance we're gonna see Mai. So.
Oh yeah.
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 So
somebody's got to pocket Mai.
Oh yeah, and pretty much.
She would catch you off guard, yo. She's character, man.
Yeah,
she's a good character, but
and also I think different new countries. I checked all the countries before, but I didn't know who wasn't in it last year. But I think we have Bangladesh now representation, which is new to me. Of course, Belgium around. I think we had Venezuela before. Some of the things, the first time country from the first time in general, maybe Colombia. I think I saw Mexico before. Yeah, but yeah, I think Bangladesh is like the first country I've recognized that's apparently new, and maybe it was one more. I'm looking at it now too. It was one more. Kuwait actually. I think I could be wrong, but yeah.
Okay. It's a different new countries being represented here in the Capcom Cup. Of course, putting out more opportunities, expanding the network here of getting more representation in there. But we'll go over we'll go over each group, and then we can kind of gauge from there on who we think could potentially take it off. So
okay,
I know it's what's wild to think about is that one of these players one or two of these players in this group are gonna go 0-5, 6, right? Yeah, they go 0-6 or 1-5. You know how wild that is to think? And these are people who qualified for Capcom Cup. And then somebody out there is gonna go 0-6 and 1-5 in their group. That's wild.
they're gonna get
It's wild to think about.
Yeah, we cooked.
That's how cutthroat it is, man. How savage the competition could be. But as we're looking at it, so for Group A, so I'll go ahead and go first, and I'll let you guys take the reins from there. So for Group A, I have Punk and Takamura. Punk, obviously, can beat you with any character. Just understands and knows the game down to a science. He actually had an inspirational story about his path. He went just to get to the level that he's at right now, and he's just a scientist, man. He knows what to do. He knows the situations that he can put you in mentally, and he got to capitalize on it. He could play at a comfortable level, but then he could turn the switch up, and then like, all right, now let me stop toying with him, and go for the kill. So he has that adaptability onto his gameplay. I know Punk is definitely one of a lot of people's picks to get out of that pool, that group. So my second pick then, because there's only two per pool to get out, would be Takamura. I would say Takamura using the Akuma. Definitely a character that is very, very powerful, but very risky to play, especially in a game like this where you could die in like two combos. So, um, I'm definitely know that Takamura is definitely an Akuma scientist too as well. So he's been playing that character for years and years, and that's kind of my secondary pick. My wild card pick would probably be Itabashi. Eve is just a Eve is a strong character, man. Every patch he's getting something that helps him out on his overall kit. And who wants to fight against a grappler with the stakes just high? especially if they choose to pick a grappler at this level. That means they know what they're doing. They know they could put you in an SBD vortex or something. So yeah, those are my picks there for Group A. Who you got for Group A, Gris?
Well, we're pretty much in alignment with a lot of the picks. I think Punk's gonna make it out because I just feel like this year, his past year, he's just been locked in like I've never seen him locked in before. Like it just feels like this is his time. And then I'm torn between Phenom and Takamura. I just feel like that. I'm gonna go Phenom, and
Okay.
then with the wild card, I had to go. I would have the same as you with Itabashi Zangief, because when it comes to like grapplers, it's a mix up. It's a hand toss right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Either one round could go completely their way, or it could, or you would have to fight a little longer to win. But there's
Because with
definitely quote unquote Geef rounds. Sure.
because with a Zangief or a grappler player, you can be in control the entire match, and then all of a sudden they get a couple of right guesses and they're right back in the game.
Exactly. And plus they have higher health, so they're willing, they could take a couple of mix-ups, but you got to take the risk to get to that point. Like you have to be close to them in command grab range, and that's not where you want to be at. So it's like,
Well, you
all
got
right, dang, if I try to pressure them or like media or something, I could mess up and I can get grabbed. So yep.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want to be in his command grab range, but I don't want to back up either, because then I got to worry about DI in the wall, and that's even worse.
Exactly. So you're constantly thinking. That's the thing. If fighting those types of characters, you got to constantly keep moving and thinking. So I feel like it about Zangief, especially the way that they play too as well, like really aggressive with their Geef. He could definitely cause some upsets for sure. So that'll be a pick that I look out for. And then Retro, what you think, Retro?
All right, I made my decisions a while back, and I have like two types. I have the subjective and objective. In cases, like based on who I want versus who I believe because of data and stats, who I know is pretty much gonna make it out. But to shorten it to pretty much follow the same format, y'all do like the two people in the potential wild card. Yeah, Punk, mainly both cases because the way like Chris was saying that he was locked in this time, that him winning Evo, but still even after Evo he's been very consistent. And then I watch and compete in tournaments and with him like in the TNS and stuff like that, and you see the results constantly. He's in like within the top three, if anything. So the way he has been, I think he's gonna make it out for sure. I actually my secondary that I expect to make out is actually Hot Dog.
Huh?
Not because he's a fellow
Play
DJ man, but he's secondary DJ, but I think Hot Dog has a strong case too. Takamura apparently is going to use Ken, from what they showed in the picture, and I can see him having a Akuma in the back just in case too. But I think Hot Dog. I honestly, Hot Dog can make it out. Takamura didn't make it out last year. Takamura can be defeated. I think matchup wise, he probably might lose to Phenom. Takamura could probably beat Salvatore and maybe Phenom, but the other three, Hot Dog, Itabashi, and Punk, I think he will lose to those three. And so I think Hot Dog will have a better chance. Wild card, who I also really want, is Itabashi Zangief, because I love that man since even before, like, especially Street Fighter V. That dude, I don't play with Zangief like that anymore, but he makes Zangief so much fun to watch, and the crazy guesses he does, and the way he played, to qualify for this one, yeah, I would love to put money on him, but I know that Punk and I think Hot Dog can probably shut him out at least. I think because like they probably have good experience a bit against Itabashi enough to deal with the Geef a little bit. And they have the characters for it too.
Mhm.
So yeah, Hot Dog and Punk to be the main two that actually make it out. But if a hopeful wild card, Itabashi. That's how I feel.
Okay. All right, fair enough. It seems like Punk is the more universal choice between us three here, kind of guaranteeing himself to get out of that Group A here. But all right, so let's see what Group B is looking like. So for Group B, I mean, what more can be said about Group B? Group B is one of the groups that a lot of streets will be watching. Everybody in the trenches will be watching. Everybody from J Street will be watching Group B. All right, because Noah the Prodigy is in there. Yo, we got Noah. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's gonna lock in. He's going to lock in. All the way from the trenches of Dre Street. The most recent controversial Street Fighter 6 player out there today can no one make history. You know, very unique play style. Also, you know, known as the Burnout King. No fear, no fear. He willingly puts himself to burnout situations constantly. Like within the first 20 seconds of the match, he could put himself into burnout. And he was like, "Dang, why would you do that? Now you're at a disadvantage." But he still finds the way overcome and like win even while in burnout. So he doesn't have that fear even when his back is against the wall. It has to be some kind of hyperbolic time chamber training to be able to react to stuff while you're in burnout. There's got to be because 9 times out of the eight to 9 times out of 10, you're terrified while you're in burnout. You don't want to get wall splatted and get blown up, and then now you got to eat this 50% combo. You don't want to deal with that. So the fact that he has no fear of putting himself in that situation, willing to put himself in that situation to get that pressure, get that offense going. That's a mark of a player that has a very unique play style. There's like there's no he's not worried. He's going to train. He has a lot of support from his end. You know, he has the haters. You know that comes with the territory. So it's going to work out in his favor. I feel like Noah can do it, man. I know people want to see him win, and there's going to be people that want to see him lose. It just happens, you know. Outside of Noah, I want to say NL. I think NL is going to be using Cammy, if I'm not mistaken. So I know they're a very very competent Cammy player for sure. They placed pretty well in the previous Capcom Cups they were in. You know, frequent repeat shower that just knows that you're definitely built to handle a bracket of this caliber for sure. So I have Noah and NL as my two picks, and then I guess I'll go for my wild card pick would be Salty Kid. Only reason why I say for Salty Kid is he's
Mm-hmm.
using. I think he's like the lone Kimberly user, I believe, in the
Fair,
bracket.
fair.
So so it's like you're playing. Okay, so if you're committed to playing Kimberly at this point in the game versus all the other meta for the characters, you're representing out there. There may be some kind of Bushinru tech that the world don't know about, and
I'm
he's gonna show. He
done.
might show it
I'm done.
at Capcom Cup. He might show it at Capcom. He may let the world know that. All right, this is what you got to do. I'm gonna show you guys how to use this character, and then I gotta go for the underdog. So that's why Salty Kid is going to be my wild card pick,
Okay.
and we'll see what damage he does out there during that time. So Chris, what you got?
Let's see. I'll probably go with Noah, the Prodigy coming out. I want to say JB,
Mm.
but I kind of have him as a wild card more so than anything. And then I'm going probably with NL and Noah coming out of that bracket.
Okay.
It just
JB.
like because all the brackets are so the talent is so evenly spread amongst it. It's like it's hard to just pull like two of them out of there.
Yeah, it's not like it's like like dang, this person's guaranteed to get out, type of deal. We can only like try to make the predictions and say, this person has a strong chance of making it out, but this or that could happen.
My
So
own
that I
thing with
think
no I said my only thing with Noah is that if he comes in, he's on a hot streak right now. And if he comes in a little too overconfident, that it could actually work against him, especially in this bracket.
That is true. That's a good point. That's actually that's a good point. The overconfidence could be a downfall, man. But here's the counterpoint I could kind of say towards that is because you do have that confidence in the attitude is like, yo, I'm going to win. This puts you in a mental of you not second guessing yourself when it comes to situations. So it's like you're willing to commit to do stuff in offense instead of just holding down back because you're confident that you got a game plan and what is the confidence from that game plan? Put himself in burnout. And what happens when he puts himself in burnout? There's a chance that he's going to lose, but sometimes he wins. So it's like it's a toss up, but we'll see though. All right. Well, Retro, what you got?
Literally what Chris said. Noah going to make it out for sure. I mean, this is the same kid from Marvel, Vanilla Marvel, by the way. Back then, way back then. Yes, and of course, as he said, I'm a veteran. Now I'm an unk now, officially. Yes, back in the day when he was a kid, this was the Hulk that just smashed the hell out of the heavy punch for Hulk, and just went berserk and got top something like very far in the Marvel bracket. It makes sense why he plays Luke the way he plays. The way his play style is like he does not care. He will press buttons, and once it works, he locks in and goes in, and it's ridiculous. Like I forgot what tournament it was recently that I saw Noah won. It was against Duke Kevin. I forgot the Pacific. It was the Frosty. No, it was the Frosty Falcons. It was earlier before that.
It was Frosty Falcons.
It was.
You talking about a tournament before?
It was Frosty. Okay, yeah.
It was Frosty. Yeah, he won Frosty.
And he just I'll walk up and throw. I'm gonna walk up and throw. I'm just gonna do this again. I'm just like press buttons and do this. Like you said, Shadow Ace. He has no fear at all. He's just gonna walk up and press buttons, and just because he can. And and granted, you have Luke, who's a character that doesn't care about being burnt out because he has good enough tools to just dominate, regardless. So I'm not going to argue against Noah because then he might tweet if he somehow tune into this podcast and hear about me tweeting against him, saying against him that he ain't gonna make it out. I'll be called out, like he called everybody else. So I don't want no smoke. But jokes aside though, but that's the thing. Like he's really consistent, and he pretty much. I'm sure he does study in a way, and he just knows. I think he knows how to press buttons, but it's that confidence in him that really takes over. So no doubt about it. I think he's gonna make it out. If anyone that might beat him, but he still make it out, it'd probably be NL. NL probably the only one that might shut him down just a bit.
I think
But so that's why I also have NL as my secondary pick because NL. Veteran not veteran. Well, a veteran in terms of like appearing in Capcom Cup many times and big finals and so forth. Very strong character. He is using, of course, Pocket Cammy and I think it's Akuma now. They're using yeah. So
he's using Akuma.
Yeah, and they had that in his good old Cammy, tried and true. So those two will be my secondary pick. Those would be my main pick. JB, I definitely would like to see make it out as a wild card. He gets very close, and he just gets so close, and then it's like it gets snuffed out of his hands on many occasions. And I would like to see him have a chance to make it out for once. Much I would like to see Anik, who from Bangladesh has his first time being there, to have a chance to represent and make it out for his country. Salty Kid, I can see. Kimberly is got buffed recently, and she's better. But I think with matchup and knowledge wise between NL and Noah, that's an obstacle for anyone the other four to climb in general. So that's why I have Noah as well, and just hopefully JP might make it out. If not,
Yeah, he'll definitely have I mean, he'll definitely have his work cut out for him for sure, man. Like I think again, can't underestimate anyone in this bracket. You can only assume, right, and just say, all right, this person has a really good, strong chance of winning, but all that can be thrown into the toilet instantly. So we'll see during game time. But I think the universal pick from all of us was Noah here from our side to make it out. So it looks like we're kind of in unison on several of these picks. But I think that might change. I think that might change the further we get along in this these predictions here. So let's move on to Group C. So Group C, let me see. I'm gonna start off. I think I have Kakaru. Uh,
mm-hmm.
Kakaru, the JP god. You know, this he's. Didn't he win like I think he won the Saudi Arabia tournament, right? Won
Mm-hmm.
the world
Yeah.
that $1 million
Yeah.
that event. He won that. Okay. Yeah. Kakaru. This is just his JP is out of this world. You know, his this extremely powerful character that it's gonna be hard to deal with, man. Like, I don't think anybody really likes fighting JP, and if you do like fighting JP, I gotta talk to you, because that's like, bro, why do you want to fight a character that doesn't want you to fight them? Like this, JP keeps you away. You don't want to deal with all of that. You want to get in their face. You want to do damage, but he's a character that makes you sit there and think about how you're going to approach him, and Kakaru is the master class of that character. So he'll definitely be one of those strong ones out there for sure in that Group C. I also had Dual Kevin as my secondary, right? I have Dual Kevin. I feel like his Rashid is like one of the strongest ones that's out there for sure. He's constantly grinding. He's making consistent top placements in the events that he enters, and he's definitely will be one of the ones to look out for there in that Group C. And then I think my wild card pick. I know this is wild to even say this. It would be Taquito. The fact that that I have Taquito as my wild card pick in this game. This goes to show you how versatile and volatile this game can get. So, not to take anything from Taquito, I think he got the Hall of Fame induction too, right? Didn't he get that, or was that the T-shirt thing that they were doing for the class?
No, he got inducted last night.
Yeah, he got inducted. Okay, so yeah, Hall of Famer for sure. Legendary player, been playing for years and years and years. Not to take anything age wise away from him, I think he can still do it, sure. But for the most part, is like this is a more of the younger side of the group of these players that are in this in this pool right now. I think this would be like the hardest group pick for me. Like I'm a Jaheim stan. This is the same ticket that Jaheim is in, right? He beat Taquito once, and I said he could do it again. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying? Represented from South Africa. Can he overcome the odds once again? I think he's one of the ones that has like 5 or 6 different characters next to his name, right? But he plays a lot of different characters too, apparently. But Jaheim, I would like to see Jaheim, you know, throw everybody's bracket in the trash, man. Mess up the timeline, punch his ticket and get out this pool. But he's gonna have his work cut out for him because he has all of those other players that are in there that are in his way. But we shall see. All right, Chris, who you got for Group C?
Shadow, you pretty much read my mind, honestly. I got look,
Nah, that's
but I had them in different order. I did have Kakaru and I had Taquito making the night, and Dual Kevin as my wild card. And I would say with Cockeroo because JP pretty much since they gave him back his crouching fierce, his anti-air, like that pretty much was the only thing he really needed to kind of just put him back where he was. Dude, Kevin, like I do like him because he stays cool under pressure and he does figure out ways, especially with his Rashid, to kind of just find that magic pixel to just basically make those comebacks. But I just think he's too young and he doesn't have enough experience in this kind of pressurized situation. And Taquito, I'm just going with the fact that just Taquito's a legend in the scene. He's been there before. I don't particularly like his kin that much compared to other high level kins. I think his is kind of weak compared to theirs, but and I think it's good enough to make it out.
Okay. Okay. All right. Retro, what you got for Group C?
Yeah. So actually, I have Kakaru and Taquito to make it out myself as well. I think Taquito learned from his losses. I think he won't give Jabrim another chance to win again like that. It wasn't, I won't say a fluke for that first time, but Taquito was like, nah, you ain't gonna catch me like that. You ain't gonna catch me slipping. Taquito if Taquito was a person that lost to Punk in 2017 at Evo and managed to run through that whole losers to catch up to Punk and beat him and destroy him in the finals, Taquito is not the type of person that's not going to let that slide. Nope. So I have him and Kakaru. Kakaru, though, I enjoy his JP. As a DJ person, I am okay with having the JP in action because I can deal with that matchup. But, and I'm saying everyone has their pain with that character. But Kakaru, though, definitely demonstrated a lot. Definitely showcased amazing. But of course, I think he also has Akuma and Bison. Literally, technically the main villains, big villains, or anti-villain rather, or anti-hero concept characters. So he's basically to me he's like the ultimate villain obstacle. I think he's gonna make it out no matter what. Wild card though, I like Dual Kevin. I mean, dude, I think he deserves the flowers to make it out far, and he just like JB gets really close at a point, and then just $1 short and making it out. Now I feel bad. I want to see more Zangief. I just like more chaos. I feel bad with Zangief Balado, but tied between Dual Kevin, Kakaru, and Taquito, it's gonna be hard for that Zangief player to actually make it out in comparison to Itabashi, who has a better chance. But we'll see. Like I said, Kakaru, Taquito locked in for the picks with a wild card potentially Dual Kevin.
And with Jaheim, when I look at players like that, when they're playing like 4 or 5 characters, that's kind of pulls me back from it. Because I feel like when you're playing that many characters, you're going to be weak when it comes to like specific matchups. Because you're not really focusing and locking in with one character. You're kind of just spreading your attention over 5 or 6 characters. And you're not fully going to be able to like take that character to its full potential when you're trying to spread your time amongst multiple characters like that.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Your attention is divided because you know that it's like, say you lose the first game, you have that, okay, well, if this character doesn't work, I got these other characters in the back pocket to work on. You bring that character out, yeah, it's slightly better, but you still lose. It's because you didn't really fully develop a character that you were working on. So they're an exception to the rule where people can play multiple characters, but in a high level environment like this, you want to absolutely focus on at least 2 at most, because you want to try to neutralize. You want to have a character that can cover your main character's your weaknesses, like a character that, all right, this character's not working. Let me go back to the second pick. But if you got like 4 and 5, and you're listed as 4 and 5, yeah, I can see where you're coming from on that, Chris. It's kind of like, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty on there in regards to what you want to play. And if you just pick a character just because you got them like master or something, and then you made them use them in 1 or 2 matches and won those matches, are they ready for a high level bracket like this? So yeah, I can see what you're saying, but at least have the secondary pick that can cover what your main may be having trouble dealing with. So, or like 2 different archetypes. Like something with a you say your main doesn't have a projectile, but your secondary does, and that character could have a better time with fighting that matchup. So something like that would be kind of important to notate. Not to discourage anybody, any of the people that play all of those characters. It's just that your attention is divided among all those characters, and then in tournament situations or high pressure stake matches such as these, it's kind of you kind of put yourself in a wheelhouse of spinning the wheel or trying to make a solid pick, and that could go against you in the long run. But okay, so yeah, we'll move on in then to the Group D. Group D here. I have Broski and I have Bravery, and my wild card pick is going to be Idom. But you know what's wild? The fact that whomever made the graphic, the player graphic, didn't list that Brokey plays Jamie too, but has the other characters and their alternate characters also. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Maybe it's based on the characters they picked during the World Warrior events, but I highly doubt Jaheim and Halabel went through like 5 or 6 different characters. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Broski does bring out the Jamie for a match here and there, but I think they're going to be more focused on using the Aki, which is obviously a more stronger character than Jamie. But yeah, it's odd to have. I feel like it's odd to have Idom in a wild card pick, right? Uh, Obviously, Idom is still a really good, strong player using Manon here, but I feel like this game is like changing Idom's perspective on neutral in Street Fighter Six. Here, like he's good, but like when you see his, I guess his recent post or his recent stream or something where he made like he kind of made a rant a little bit. Like you may be thinking, is he still enjoying the game like he used to, or like he like the performances weren't as strong as they were when he was playing Street Fighter Five. That's kind of one thing I took away from that when I was watching and listening. So yeah, so mine's is gonna be Broski and Bravery with the Cammy, and then my wild part card pick is going to be Idom. So Chris, who you got on this
Well, I'm gonna start out wild card. It's definitely gonna be Idon because I have to commend him for sticking with that character, where he could definitely switch to much better characters than Manon right now. Uh, I would say Broski too because I feel like people just don't understand how to fight Aki because you don't really see that many of them. So it's kind of like a lot of times puts you in a situation where it's like a knowledge check, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna fall for that. And if I had to pick another one, I would say Blaze because I feel like he's playing the 3 strongest Shotos in the game right now between Ed, Ken, and Ryu. And Ryu is very underwhelmingly strong that people don't really understand how good he is right now. Even Ed, like Ed got nerfed a bit, but he's still a top tier character, and pretty much everybody know Ken's top tier. So those would be my picks right there.
Okay. And then what about you, Retro?
So let's see. I have Idom and actually VX Bow for the pick. I did watch VX Bow. Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
Yeah. Yeah, VX Bow is one of the characters. Yeah, he has multiple. I think like 4 or 5 characters, but I think I have some weird faith in him that he can make it out. Broski is my wild card for this case, but VX Bow, I actually kind of try to watch some stuff and actually looked them up a little bit. I want to say because I've seen his name on many occasions during the Capcom Cups tournament series in general, and I've seen that name so many times. Idom, like I said, it can depend with Idom. I think he'll make it out. I think he might make out in losers, if anything, at least in losers, because because of Manon, like, and I'm not sure you saw that he kind of crashed out a moment about what's going on with Street Fighter, but the fact that part of it, the other thing too, with that character Manon, that character still struggles despite of some of the buffs that they gave her. I think at some point, I want to say between last year and year and whatever recent patch, whatever. And really, that character really has just. I actually try to mess around with Manon actually, and I can see where the weaknesses like show over the strengths. But like I said, I don't like obviously he won Genesis this yesterday actually this recent tournament major, but still I think anyone who has knowledge about Broski would be a character there, someone that knows really well about how to deal with Manon and probably VX Bow. If anyone, they can shut him down. But otherwise, I think if Adam can make it out, I think he'll be at least losers. But Broski would be my wild pick, and VX Bow, I think, have enough faith in it. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it's just kind of in the air right now, just off of how Idom will be approaching these matches, especially with like much stronger characters in there. It'll definitely be a task for him, but we'll see for sure what happens then at that time. So yeah, it looks like our universal pick here on this one is going to be that Idom. I think we all had him in wild card. Or did someone have him as a main pick? I think who had him as a main pick?
No, I had him as a wild card.
Okay, yeah, wild card. All right, yeah. So we had them on wild card status. Here. All right. So in that case, yeah, let's move on to Group E here. So Group E, man, this is a group right here. This is a group right here. So yeah, I got Fudo. I got Mena, and my wild card pick is gonna be former DJ, but Fudo has always been like a major competitor, so I expect no less here. Ed is a really solid character all around, and Fudo is definitely a scientist when it comes to playing his character. Now, Mena, now I'm hearing doubts about the strongest bull. Those are just the haters, man. I feel like Mena has proven himself, by placing and winning within the lifespan so far of Street Fighter Six, and since Street Fighter Six is almost about 2 years old now, there's still plenty of time for growth and development. I feel like Mena, of course, still has that fire, still has that passion. Just because the performances aren't consistent or back to back doesn't mean you can't count him out for sure. He did win, the previous year too as well for I think was it Capcom Cup? No, or was
Yeah.
no
Capcom.
Japan? Japan? No, Evil Japan. Evil Japan. Evil Japan. My bad. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
He won Evil Japan. Yeah, with Blanca. So yeah, he definitely still has that fire in him. I think if he locks in training, he does his homework or whatever, he can more than happily be ready for this pool here. Mr. Crimson has been finding some success with the Geef. I've been seeing like in addition to his sim. So the fact that he can switch between those two archetypes makes him very volatile in this group. Like going from sim to Dalsum. I mean, going from sim to Geef there. So definitely two different characters for sure. So we'll see how he works it out going up against that in that particular group. So Chris, what we looking like for Group E?
We pretty much in lockstep. I got Mena. I want to say Mr. Crimson just because I like him as a player, but I had to go with Fudo, and then Mr. Crimson as a wild card, but a heavy, strong favorite at wild card. I would say that. Uh, with Mena, I just feel like if he push come to shove, he's gonna pull Blanca out. And I feel like he's been working on some setups that we probably haven't seen yet with Blanca. And Fudo, I haven't got a chance to see much of him because I haven't had the time. But if he plays Ed right, I think he can make it out of this bracket. Just looking at the characters that the other players play, I think it's pretty much he has a favorable matchup with Ed going into a lot of these matchups.
Yeah, definitely. Ed is one of those characters that's out there right now doing damage for sure. in a lot of people's top tens for top 10 characters in the game, maybe even top five for sure. Here, so we'll see how that works out. Retro, what you got?
Yeah, Fudo as a fellow DJ homie, yes, Fudo all the way, and Menardi. Like, if anyone to be a wild card, shoot, it's a toss up between Chris CCH and Mr. Crimson. I want to go with Chris CCH. Yeah, Chris CCH this time actually.
Okay.
Yeah, Fudo. Yeah, he. So apparently he may not have the DJ maybe potential pocket, but I can see that happening. And MenRD, like I said, as of course Shadow stated, like consistently still, even after the Kakon Cup, and still been dominating here and there on occasion. You know, alongside Punk and Noah, like pretty much he'll make it out. Mr. Crimson, I wanted to give him the wild card, but I think the problem with Dawson, the characters he has, Dawson, I think he also pockets Zangief, and those characters still kind of still have some issues and struggle a little bit. Zangief would be a better chance, but and he know how to work that Dawson, but I don't think he'll make it too far between Mena and Fudo. I think Fudo, those two will stop him. So, and with Chris CCH, of course, does have he has a good plethora of characters of Ed, Ken, and Bison. So, and the way Ed is, even though it's a slight, he has some nerves. He's still a very good, solid character. So I think he has a better chance making it out for wild card. In comparison to Fudo and Menardi being my main.
Okay. All right. So moving on to Group D here. So I have
We F.
Star. I have Lashar. I've got Oil King, and my wild card pick is going to be Jan. So with Lashar, Ed. Lashar, I mean, you can't go wrong with Ed, man. He's just a very very solid, solid neutral base character, for sure, and he can kind of fight the entire cast pretty well. It's just depending on that defense and the pressure that the Ed player is going to apply there to try to force somebody to make a mistake and him getting a good whiff punish here. So I think Ed can fight the entire cast. Yeah, good here. Now, Oil King is, presumably the Rashid, right? The international Rashid. I kind of call this like the mechanic technicians group because there's a lot of diverse technical styles in this group. Like you got three Rashids in the same pool, bro. Nah, he got three Rashids in there. So this is a this is it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of tornadoes. It's gonna be a wind advisory in this group right here for Group D, for sure. So I'm pretty sure everyone's doing their homework and studying the Rashid matchup and trying to get the practice in against that character because they're definitely gonna need that, for sure. I know it was Jan in there being my wild card pick. I know they can do some damage too as well. But yeah, those are my picks there for Lashar, Oil King, and Jan there. So who you got, Chris?
We're pretty much in lockstep again. I got Oil King and I got Lashard because I've been watching a lot of his matches lately, and he's a Ed that's playing out of his mind right now from what I've seen of him. And I'm loyal to my jury, so I'm gonna have Jack as a wild card because I think Feng Shui is basically just the purest form of a knowledge check when it comes to a lot of players. Do you know the string? Do you know the setup? And I think he'll probably surprise a lot of people with that because I think people don't really take jury that seriously. But Feng Shui changes a lot of these matchups. But
Okay.
I still don't see him coming out though.
Yeah, that's one of the things I was kind of looking at. He was one of he also has he also has the Rashid in the back pocket as well. But again, this is jury too as well. So the jury can catch you off guard, but at this point, I feel like everyone just kind of has that universal experience against fighting her. So there's nothing really too new that could be brought to the table outside of probably a feng shui mix going down. So they know how to react to her buttons. They know what to do against her strings and stuff like that. Just because of the many matches they've had to fight against that character. But we'll see though. We'll see. There'll definitely be an interesting take there. Retro, what you got for that Group
Yeah.
D?
This is where it got a little tough for me. This I think is gonna be some really rough groups. And let's see. I actually have Sheehan and Big Bird to make it out actually.
And
As
Big Bird. Okay.
as a wild card, some reason I had some weird faith in Uriel Valorio.
The Bison.
Yes.
No, he plays.
He plays
Yeah, okay, he does play Bison. Okay.
no, he plays Ken and Akuma and Cammy
Kevin
apparently.
Kuma.
Um, yeah.
Okay.
I no no Jack, no Lesher. Even though I've seen Lesher in action and I know he can be a problem. Same with Oil King. It's just that I know that. Let me check. Let me check. I'm also checking like whoever made it out last time. Now, granted, Big Bird did not make it out of the pools last time, and neither did Takamura, neither Mr. Crimson, Bravery. Trying to think of anybody else from last time. Okay, yeah. So yes, Lesnar made it out last time. He did. He did.
Mm-hmm.
That
he made it out. Come on, Lashar.
Yeah, Lashar. Excuse me, Lashar.
Mm-hmm.
I say Lesnar. Lashar did. Now that being said, because I can see Oil King, Big Bird, and Shion giving him some problems. It's gonna be entertaining. It'll be an interesting clash. Big Bird, the way he is now, like he's very focused. I mean, he's been outside of the West. He's been consistent out everywhere else he tries to be, and no, he was strong. No, very beginning of Street Fighter 6, but he can lose. Like he can get shut down a few times. But in this group, Shion pretty much gonna make it out regardless. And I just want to give Valerio, excuse me, a chance to the wild card. I was looking. I was trying to look through it. Yeah, it's rough for me because it's like literally 4 people I know, like that could make it out in my head, and I just have to base on. So objectively, I thought Big Bird and Shion. Subjectively, how I felt, I wanted Shion and Valerio. Lesher should have been the wild card. I think that he might get shut out this time. I think so. That's all I gotta say. I know I'm going against the grain and against y'all in this case, but yes.
No. That's fine. That's the point of it. It's just everybody has a different take. You know, we like to hear those different takes to see that and break down and try to like get your thoughts and see maybe it could happen. You know, anything could happen. It's a toss up again. We just trying to get these predictions to see what Capcom Cup 11 could be looking like. The let me see Group G. All right, so Group G is probably going to be another one of the more entertaining groups for sure, yo.
Woo!
Easily one of the more entertaining groups for sure, man. There's a lot of heat in this group, man. God dang. But yeah, let's talk about it. So we got Zhao Hai, right? KOF player, legend, you know, just all around veteran. He made that godlike speech, the classic, saying don't count me out just because I'm an older player. Saying don't sleep on me. He had his wife with him, supporting him when he won that tournament. So big pop off, a lot of energy there coming out there from Zhao Hai. And I'm thinking, is he gonna pick Mai? I feel like he's going to bring out the mind for the world to see. I think so. I think it's on the way. And then I have Dew, aka Dewford, aka Knuckle Dude. Shouts to Jacob, man. Um, we have Knuckle Dew. I have Zhao Hai, I have Knuckle Dew, and then I guess my wild card pick here will be Killsview. Because I know they play Karine in Street Fighter Five, and now they're on Cammy in 6, I believe, in Street Fighter 6. Um, the Dew versus Cabo rivalry can finally be put to rest. They get to play for the title of the best gal in the U.S., and it all gets settled in that group. Like this is it. Like this would literally settle everything. Every little argument and shots they would take at each other. It can all be settled in this one group because if you win here on such a grand stage, you can't. That's it. We're done. You can no longer be like, "Yo, I'm better than you" and stuff like that. I'm the better guy. I'm the stuff like that. You can't do that anymore. Like you eliminated. You beat them inside of a group stage event at one of the biggest prestigious events out there. So that's it. That it ends the group the Do versus Kaba debate on that. But Chris, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Juicy Joe coming out because I've watched a lot of his stuff as well, and he's a very strong JP player. Uh,
Mm,
Wild card, I would say Zhao Hai, and I want to say Knuckle
okay.
Dew as the two Juicy Joe and Knuckle Dew are the two coming out, and Zhao Hai is the wild card. Nephew is the one that I'm
Interesting.
looking at and saying he's probably going to go either he's either going to go 1-5 or he's going to go 0-6. I just,
Oh no, he was the one that gets that label, the 0615 label onto the name.
because I'm just looking at his match. You got two Gals.
Yeah.
That's a bad matchup for
Yeah.
Jury. You got a Bison
Mhm.
who plays Bison Cammy and Ken. That's a bad matchup for Jury. You got another one that plays Cammy and Rashid. I don't like those matchups.
Mhm.
And then JP is definitely a bad matchup for Jury. And with
Mhm.
Nephew only playing Jury, with having no backup character that I know of, that I just don't think I just don't see him getting really a lot of wins in this bracket. Like this is a terrible bracket for his character.
Yeah, this bracket doesn't look fun for the Jury Nation there. They're gonna need to give him a spirit bomb or something to get through this because there's a lot of matchups where doesn't look like Jury's gonna have a lot of fun fighting there. But Retro, what you got?
Shaw Nephew to make it out. I'm very torn between Kaba and Knuckle Dude. That match I'm definitely going to watch. I think that is going to determine who's going to make it out. I want Knuckle Dude to be the wild card for sure. But Shanghai and Nephew going to make it out either way. I think ultimately.
You got nephew making it out?
Yes, sir. I have faith in Nephew. I'm on the opposite
Oh,
end.
okay.
I
A rise of dark now. Okay.
Like come on, like Retro, like you look at a Jury player. I'm a Jury player, and I'm telling you, these are terrible
looks
matches for her.
terrible. That looks awful, yeah. He making it out against
Look.
all odds.
Look,
Okay.
if a Jury can be the first Capcom millionaire like last year, then I think that may be a potential happening. Look, I don't like your character as a DJ main because I don't like the character. But anyway, and I respect, and I get you were saying. I get you were saying with the matchup. It depends on how well they're going to adapt in the middle of the match. Now, Kaba and Knuckle could be in the way of Nephew, but Nephew can adapt. And Nephew been in some rough cases before, in many previous Capcom Cups too. So I'm having faith in this one. The Gals have to deal with each other, taking each other out. And that's the only thing I'm worried about more than.
It's gonna be too busy taking each other out to be focusing on anything else.
That's what I want to see.
Okay, Retro don't make me switch my wild card pick now. I'm taking Nephew.
No. Stay on, like the man said, stay on the side. Stay on the side.
They're gonna be too busy focusing on their own beef to worry about the group, yeah.
No, like the meme
I,
says, "Say on that side, I'm saying on the other side." You switch sides, say no, but no, just kidding, man. But no, like this, nephew may have a trick up his sleeve, and nephew can pretty much practice well against. Like he played Kaba and Knuckle and I think even shot her to the extent on many occasions, and not mistaken has beaten them. And of course, like I said, we'll see. Because like I said, these are the characters that may be presented that they might pick, but they could be a counter pick, and we'll see what happens with that too. So the thing is that knowing nephew and seeing him how he has been for many years, I have faith in him to make it out alongside Shanghai. Shanghai being one of the multi gamer guys, I would say. I forgot the best term to describe. Like he plays multiple fighting games. Like he's KOF and what Street Fighter and one other game or so. Yeah, but yeah, Kaba and Knuckle that match I'm gonna watch. It's not gonna be. It won't be a boring Guile match for sure. I'll know that for sure. They make Guile interesting, and I hate Guile regardless. That he's a boring ass character, but he will make it interesting, and I think that nephew has a chance to beat one of them. I think he will beat Kaba if he wants to make it out. He might.
He would have to beat Kaba to make it out of his group.
Kaba can lose. Like Kaba can. And,
Okay.
And the Knuckle he can go far, but he doesn't make it out that much. And knowing his records and stuff, he doesn't get first place that much in general consistently in online tournaments and TNS. Because ultimately you have someone in the way. Like I could see Nephew could beat Knuckle as well. Nephew can overcome the Giles. I believe in that. I don't believe in that. Not because I don't like Guile, but because I believe in Nephew.
Hmm. And then they both have like what two different play styles, right? The way
Oh yeah,
they
yeah,
Giles,
for sure.
like both Kaba and Do.
Yeah, it won't be boring for sure. That's the match. One of the main matches I really want to see. For sure, it's gonna be entertaining. That's why like G is hard for me. That's why I couldn't like really figure out. I feel bad for Juicy Joe, and I feel bad for Killzoo. I think they one of them could win, maybe. But the thing is, I don't think it would overall change the course of between Shaha and the other four might make it out somehow.
Okay. All right. Well, there it is. Those are the solid picks there for Group G. I think we all had a universal decision about Do, and that's Zhao Hai here. Oh yeah, it looks like we've been on par for most of it. I think Retro was the only one that was giving us those surprise picks here, especially with that nephew. You know what I'm saying? And I think Crystal had changed his answer too. He was like, "Hold on, let me change my answer real quick." That's not just now. Chris believes he believes in the power of jury. Okay, all right, Chris, I see you. All
and
right,
I
so we
always believe my character, but me just looking at the matchups, I'm like,
Fair.
He's gonna have to play pretty much perfect, especially against Guile or Bison or Cammy, and especially
Right,
against
right.
JP. They put us like his room for error is gonna be 1%. He cannot make any kind of mistake with those characters because especially Bison, the damage he can output on Jury is crazy. And with Knuckle Doo playing a more aggressive Guile and not really being that zone heavy one, I think that's gonna be something he's gonna have to really deal with.
That I'll give you.
yeah, that character can what two touch, 2 or 3 touch, and yeah, you're out of there. Especially with meter. That's Bison. Bison very explosive damage. Even though they toned it down a little bit, he still does some good damage here. But all right, so let's see. So for Group H to be the last group here for our blocks on our prediction here. I'll go ahead with Angry Bird. I mean, you can't go wrong with someone who, you know what I'm saying, won Evo, in the first year of the game. Um Kusanagi with the Ryu and Luke. And then I guess my wild card pick is going to be Lex here. So you would think to yourself like, man, nah, there's no way you would bet against the first evil champion for the game, right? Um, but then what happened at what event was that when the Kim player beat Angry Bird and I'm trying what's the name of that player? Oh my gosh, I cannot think of his name right now.
Matt.
Young Matt Teen, yeah. Young Matt Teen beat the evil champion at an event, bro. That's wild to think about. And I think it was a mirror, right? The Ken mirror? Yeah, it was the Ken mirror. That's like like what more can you say? What more can you say about that? Like after that, do you just think that damn, they watched because they lost to to young Matt Teen? Nah. That's put you on notice and let you know that anybody can get touched in this game. So I still think Angry Bird has it, but we'll see though. We will see. Um, I have Angry Bird and Kusanagi. Kusanagi, of course, using two very strong characters with Ryu and Luke. Um, I think I don't think it was him that did the infamous Ryu throw loop uh, against the Cammy player. He just kept throwing him in the corner, and yeah, and then Lex, of course, with Gal, because Gal's also a character that can kind of you got to play a certain way in order to fight that matchup. So that'll be Angry Bird, Kusanagi, and Lex for me as the wild pick. Who you got, Chris?
I'm gonna go with Angry Bird, Shudo, and I'm also gonna agree with you the wild card on Let. He's been doing a real good with his Akuma from the videos I watched of him. Better than I usually would think somebody would do with Akuma with his problem with health and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Akuma is one of those characters that you just with him having such a one touch to two touch type of health bar. I don't know if I would risk it on $1 million.
You want as much health as possible. You want the maximum health allowed, and that 1,000 difference could make that 1,000 difference could make all the changes here. But yeah, that's Kuma's definitely still a strong character. I mean, just easily top 3 fireball game in the game, so it has options.
No, but those would be the ones I would go with. Those 3 right there.
Okay, and then Retro, what we got for the last group here? Retro? Oh, do we?
I'm not sure if he stepped away.
He could have possibly stepped away on this one. All right, well, I guess when he comes back, I guess we can, we'll get his thoughts. But so basically, that's a good majority of our picks. Hope you guys enjoyed them. I'm sure you got your own and your own, fantasy brackets that you can fill out.
Oh, I'm back. I'm sorry.
We'll see when that time comes on. What happened?
Oh, I'm back. I'm sure y'all guys.
Okay. Yeah. We were just saying what you had for Group H.
Yeah. Angry Bird, and I think hold on, what else is on my list? Yeah, Angry Bird, Kusanagi for the main. Lex is my wild card.
Damn. Okay, we had the same. we had the exact same picks on this one. All right. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's very strong chance for Angry Bird to make it out, but we shall see, man. I feel like this game, like it feels like a toss up at this point. Like anything could happen. Like how much prep work has these players been doing? They've been training, grinding, asking for sets. You know what I'm saying? Hint, hint, wink, wink. Asking for sets, asking people to run the set. Have they been getting ready for Capcom Cup? So good luck to those players, and we'll check them out on that event, March 5th through 9th for Capcom Cup, man. And so before we move on into our next topic here, what do you guys think they're going to? Do you think there's going to be any announcements after Capcom Cup is over with?
Yeah, I'll let you go first, Chris.
I don't think, if anything, they might go ahead and show maybe a little bit of Elena. That's the only thing I could think of with Capcom right now. Probably showing a little bit of Elena, and then probably announcing like the prize pools and stuff for next Capcom Cup. That's going to be more interesting to me because is are they going to do another $1 million again for next year? That's going to be the most interesting thing to wait and see.
They're gonna up the ante. They're gonna do 2 million.
Hey, they might. And we're going there for let's say, and they going there for let's get 4 out of them.
Hey, look, man, Monster. Look, the Monster Hunter and Resident Evil. As long as those two games keeping them up there, they'll be all right. Yeah. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm kind of leaning toward what you said. Probably like an Elena, maybe Elena teaser there on that, and then I guess over the upcoming weeks after March, we'll get more information about her. For sure, today eventually show her trailer. I think they'll do an announcement on what it's going to be for next year. Or maybe they change up the format. Um, New tour, new type of tour that they're doing. Maybe all online qualifier now, like for certain events to enter. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I don't think we'll get any like season 3 stuff as of yet. I think that's gonna come like maybe like in April. Maybe we'll get some season 3 news, but I think we'll just probably more likely just get like a teaser for Elena. What about you, Retro?
Yeah, because I think Elena probably might come out most likely around like maybe late April, early May, at the most, and then we'll probably have our season 3 teaser around that, closer to maybe near June or so forth. I mean, now if they decided to do like a teaser for season 3 early on around Capcom Cup, that'd be really nice. But I think they want to make sure they kind of have Elena more of the spotlight, in that sense. But you never know. I mean, they did stuff like that before, and I won't say it won't be too early. Well, no, if anything, because you don't want to anticipate people for like 5 more months of waiting for another series of characters to start. But who knows? But yeah, probably that. Yeah, probably. I think they will keep the $1 million. I think where Capcom is now as a company, and the support they are getting from the sponsors and so forth, I'm not going to be surprised they do another million plus for the next tournament. And also, in addition, though, I think we also get news about potential like costumes and everything like that because they've responded to the backlash of lack of content in general a few weeks back, and they explain that hey, it takes some time to make a lot of stuff for the main characters versus the avatar things. So, and of course, we might get like another small sponsor moment, where they might feature like maybe an anime or a TV show or whatever, and Avatar and whatnot might get little costumes and other items and stuff like that. But yeah, at least the main focus probably everybody wants to see is Elena of some sort, and luckily maybe season 3 teasers.
I don't know. Do you think we might get a hint at a Super Street Fighter 6?
You know what? I would not be surprised. This is probably the first one in the series that won't get a super version, because the way it feel like I think it's being developed and the way it's going in that direction, and the way they made money early on, around the time it came out, is they don't really. I don't think they don't have to do a. Now they could do like a bundle version of it. They don't have to call it Super Street Fighter 6, and I think that's the thing. Like, in the meantime, their stuff go on sale a lot too. They do have like the season 1 and 2 go on sale like on occasion, and they have like an ultimate edition of a sort. But I think they won't call it Super Street Fighter. Now that's the other thing too, is will they also make a new few tweaks and mechanics concept like they did in Street Fighter 5? would add something new to it. Because that's the other thing that I might say for another topic at some point. But that's another thing I'm curious about. But I think that it might be just the way they name it, season versus the year versus season. I think it'll be just that. I don't think it'll be a super version. It may be like a upgraded version, a bundle for getting the previous years. But I don't think it will be something that's like Super Street Fighter Ultimate or arcade, whatever. I like that. It's cool to the tradition of it, but I think it might die this time.
Yeah, probably. I think probably after Evo we'll get more. We'll get more information on like how season 3 is gonna be. But by my counterpoint to that is, I think the season 3 starts before Evo, which is weird
Like
because
at least
I think the
USA,
previous
yeah.
year was the year that the previous year was when they did in Bison. No, they did Akuma that 1 month, and then the month later they did Bison.
They did
So
Kuma
Akuma was the
Combo
last
Breaker
character
week.
for season 1. What?
Yeah, it was May. It was Combo Breaker because that's right. Kuma came out around the week of a Combo Breaker. That's what it was in May.
Yeah, yeah, and then the month after that they immediately did Bison. So it kind of maybe they realized at the time there may be like some time crunches or something that they had to look in. But I think that was the first time we had a character release that was back to back like that. So I'm thinking, what if they do the same thing this year? Is where they'll release Alina since she's the last character for season 2, and then do the first character for season 3 the month later. So they would have had to already announced that the season 3 is there, and they had already showed the characters that's going to be in season 3. So there's a high chance I'm guessing is that they'll do is they'll give us the Lena teaser for season. I mean, they'll give us a Lena teaser, and then maybe like a few weeks later they'll give us the teaser for season 3. I think that was just I don't know. That's just based off of what they did last time. So maybe this time it'll be different. But I definitely think we're getting some kind of Elena based content Capcom Cup for this for sure.
Yeah, because
Um,
Bison got released a couple of days before CEO.
yeah, and then they had to decide if they were going to use it, like if he was going to be legal or something like that. But kind of same thing they did with Combo Breaker, but they were both of the characters were at least a month apart. So maybe that'll be the same scenario this time. But we'll see. We'll see. We're it's right around the corner. 2 more weeks, so I think we're gonna blink and we're gonna already be there. So, all right. But well, there it is. Those are all of our picks there for predictions for Capcom Cup 11. You guys are just tuning in and you missed out on the first half of this here. Don't worry, the stream will be archived, edited, and re-uploaded here by Sir Retro on production. Here, so we're gonna move into our topic here. Is when I think I mentioned this earlier about kind of winking, hinting at people, asking people to run the set. So, um, this top kind of sparked my interest because there are arguments on both sides on what people believe about egos in the FGC. Like, I understand your time is your time and you are entitled to run the set with anyone if you do not wish to. um as long as I can remember, like, players would only play and train with certain players of similar skill level, to keep their instincts and reactions sharp. And someone and then there are others that will just play with anybody regardless of skills. But, like, are they really two sides of the same coin? Like, would that person be labeled as an asshole because they didn't want to play with you but will play with a much stronger caliber of player? Honestly, I don't see the open invites too often out there like that. But do people want to just, like, I guess, stay on top of the mountain, or do they want to climb down and help bring people up to the top with them? I've seen some wildness out there where someone was charging to play them in a set, and people paid for it. So, my question, like, why are you building a community like this? I mean, it's making sure to stay strong. The right call. Like, what are your thoughts? I guess I ask both of you guys. How you feel about like asking people to run the set? Yeah. And I'll go ahead with you. Start with you, Chris.
Honestly, I don't really have a problem with it. Like if people want to play, like you've seen, I've done Shadow Ace. You've seen, I've done plenty of first to tens. I've never saw a problem with it, but I can also see it from the point of view of the pro player, where it's like you got some people out there that just really want to come in, get that cheap win, and then run, and then they post it all over social media trying to basically shine on you. When you really just like, I'm just playing you, bro. Like there's no need for you to try to basically embarrass me like that. So I can understand from the pro players' perspective why they like, well, I don't really want to play with just regular players. I want to play with other pros. But at the same time, I feel like that's what kind of has dumbed down the pro scene is that the pros play each other so much. It's like it's not interesting to watch them play because they know each other so well. It's kind of almost like watching practice mode. That's
Yeah,
just my
like
opinion on it.
yeah, like you just watch. You're basically just watching like sports. You see teams practice and go to like training camps and stuff like that. It's basically like that for them. They're with like-minded level players, and they're just making sure their instincts or skills are sharp there, and they just want to keep it that way. They don't want to players get somebody who can't react to this or who's not, who knows that this isn't real and they're able to punish it and stuff like that. That's the type of training that they're seeking to stay strong. But I feel like at the same time it's like I could kind of understand where they're coming from because again, what are you learning when you're playing
Yeah.
against a certain level of player? Like I feel like when you play sets, it has to teach you something in order for you to try to get better. Like if you're not learning while you're playing, you kind of just, I guess, just playing just to play. But some people, some players don't mind doing that. They don't mind just like, all right, yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we can run the set, whatever. But then the others are like, nah, man, I just need to. I don't think I'll be playing with you right now, and they kind of just brush you off or whatever, and it happens. It happens. So I kind of understand for both sides. So it's like not. I wouldn't label that person as an asshole. I would just say that okay, maybe they just didn't want to run the set with you, and then they just would prefer a higher caliber of challenge, which is fine. I don't think you should take that personally. I think it's your attitude. I think your attitude towards that person will be different. Like how you respond to them and how you carry yourself will kind of push you in that direction of being that asshole. But
Yeah.
Retro,
Is it?
what you think?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, go ahead, Chris. Go
Yeah,
ahead. You
yeah.
got it.
I can see what you're saying. I about to say I can see what you're saying, but I just use myself as an example. Like my training partner, Twisted Jago, he's out of Alabama. He's a master rank jury player. And I would play sets with him and he would beat me 10-0, 20-0. And he got to the point where he's like, okay, you're not going to learn much more from me. So I'm just not going to stop playing you. But then it's like once I went into rank myself and started playing, and like I didn't even notice it that my skill level was higher than people. I'm diamond two, and I'm just walking through people in the diamond ranks, and I didn't really notice it till I started playing again. So it does kind of help you when you play players at that higher level because you pick up things, and over time you don't really understand how strong you're getting until you go back down to your rank and start playing, and then all of a sudden a lot of the stuff becomes a lot easier. You're just doing stuff like just by reaction, not really thinking about it.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things where you could take that information from whichever training session you were going under, and then kind of just go back to playing people at your similar level, and then now it's like you're beating them a little bit more consistently because now you are recognizing situations that you probably had trouble dealing with before. It just took some time and studying to learn against that. But Retro, what was you gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the environment and the setting and like I said, the tone of how you approach the people. Because I know and also how people are. I know there's some pro players that don't mind like playing you casually and running the set here and there, and if it's like something like maybe like a local event, pre-tournament or after tournament type of thing, um, maybe like a 30, 10 minute, 30 an hour to like a tournament. And I can see that where they don't find the issues. It's a little more chill, relaxing environment, so they're not going to be like, well, I don't want to play you, or I'm good type of thing, and they play somebody else. But I think when it comes to like a major and those environments where it's going to be a big event, so much going to be going on, you want to make sure you're in tip-top shape and so forth. More than likely, you might not have a chance to have a pro player to want to play with you if you're not at their level. And I think that's okay, to be honest, because they want to have that iron sharpens iron, like, well, at the same level, I would say. There are cases like, example like NuckleDu or I'm not sure if Punk does it, or many other players now. They're casually streaming online. Is just like, hey, I'm just playing matches to practice here and there. They might do like a viewer, subscriber like matches, and you would run a set with them. They can do that. And I think in that environment where they just chill in that home and so forth, they don't probably won't mind, and they might give you analysis too if they're nice enough. But I think, as I said, if they're in the actual tournament, the major, Frosty Faustings or Evo or whatever, I can see where at that point they're not going to be wanting to deal with people that's in a different level from them in the sense of like under a certain amount. And I can see where that rejection kind of sucks, because ideally, as a player who wants to level up and wants to get better, you have to play stronger players, and they have to give you feedback about how to get better and stuff like that. And that's what you think is the best way to know. But at the same time, it's like I said, I think it's like I said, everyone. It depends. Like I said, I can see where people, like I said, be more they like, nah, I never want to. Now, if it's like no matter the environment, they don't want to play anyone underneath their level, then I can see there's a more personal preference type of thing, and it could be potentially seen as a more elitist, hey, you're a dick, you're a jerk type of thing. Don't meet your heroes situation, versus hey, cool, I'm glad that you want to play me, but right now I'm just want to play people my level, and not that you're not good enough for me. I just don't feel comfortable playing someone, not to say weaker than me, but not my level, because I feel bad beating up somebody so many times. Now, if you connect where it says, hey, I don't mind losing 20-0, against you. I just want to play you to see if I'm learning. If you communicate in that type of sense, then you might be able to break that barrier. But if it's like the same environment, they're the same way in whatever, no matter the environment. If you're going to stream, if you have the major, if you have local, if you're just at an event at somewhere that's not even a tournament and they just don't want to play you and they ignore you, whatever, then I can see where it could be like I think I just want to back off of that pro player and I'll leave him alone type of thing. Which, like I said, it could be personal preference, but at the same time, it can be, like a push away. You're not saying clique. That's where there could be a weird gray line. But I think for me, it's the environment, because in most environments like locals, at least for here, I can test, for example, Pork Chop. Pork Chop actually, shout out to Pork Chop, to people 404 actually, who have some of the best, strongest players in the area, and actually, in some of the social chat, they are basically like, hey, who want to run the set? It's an open invitation, in a sense, and that context is like, hey, yeah, I'm a platinum player, so can I play against a master or high master now, rather? And they're like, all right, hop on in. They may play you maybe less matches, maybe, but they allow you to play. Then you might get your two, three hits in or whatever, and then that's fine, and I can test for that. They are open to play you. Um, but like if it's like a tournament, then I can see where, like I said, once again, they may not want to be in that situation. They want to play you yet, unless you're their level. So that's all I can say.
Yeah, but you retro. I about to say retro, but there's gonna be that person that's gonna sit there and see that and be like, "Oh, retro don't want to play me. Let me go on the X. Man, retro didn't want to play me. He thinks he's better than me. He thinks I'm not a good player. Blah blah blah." And it just kind of, and then they start kind of downing, rebooting you and everything else, and just causing a whole bunch of drama that doesn't even need to be there.
Yeah, and that can be an unfortunate part. And like I said, I think that's where it's important to address to someone about why or why not they want to play the set or whatever with whatever. Like if it's like if that's not addressed, if that's not communicated, then that's that problem where it's like, yeah, I know some people they may take it even more, be like, oh my gosh, no, they're elitists. They don't like um players like me and so forth. Well, you know what? Bump them. I'm going to move somewhere else, type of thing. And I can see where that happened on many occasions, and it led to either where the person leaves the FCC or find something like their own group or whatever and do that way. For me, there were cases I can attest. Yes, where I met some players and they looked at me like, "What are you doing here?" And I kind of like got that vibe, but rather than looking at it and saying, you know what, I don't want to talk to them anymore. I don't dress anymore. Or I just say, okay, I'm going to find a way to get better. I'm gonna reach out to other people because it's like dating whatever. There's other fishes in the sea, and a lot of people at times people will lock into that one person. Like they gotta play Pong, they gotta play Tokido, they gotta play Nukudu to learn this and that third. They want and then it could be various reasons. It could be altruistic, or they have whatever intention, like hey buddy rub shoulders. Then that's got to be that got to be like analyzed with themselves too. So there's so many factors in it, but at the core, it has to be communicated of if in the sense of why or why not you want to play the set. And I think with that being more communicated, that will lessen that animosity and that concern or that rejection worrying about it. And like I said, for me, where we are now, I don't play them and many NTL people. I don't ask them not because I don't think they'll reject me. I'm pretty much now I'm busy with like trying to focus on how and learning myself, and then I have us. We got our own group now that we train with, but there's a plateau that we want to reach and be like, you know what? Let me see if I can reach out to these better players to us and see if they don't mind. And you got to find the right person. And thankfully here, in the ATL, or for example, which are one of the more strongest regions, they say, hey, well, I'm down for 3 or 4 matches. Here you go, and you get destroyed, but hopefully, hey, that's opportunity. Now you got to watch replays. You got so basically not only that, you can now have your own homework you can work on. I got destroyed by a grandmaster. How can I beat it and do it next time? And hopefully, next time opportunity, you can ask for another set again, and you might surprise them. If you take from what happened in the last beating and apply to it, they'd be like, you know what, dang, you kind of learned a bit. All right, I might, I'll down to play you some more. That's the other thing too, So it's a lot of factors, and you can't. It's hard to say exactly or be on one side of like, you know, determine this person being an elitist versus determine a person just, hey, I'm not in the mood. I'm focused on something else. That's how I would say.
Kind of like on that ceiling of kind of top player bias. There at locals, I think we may have talked
That
about
kind of
this
segues into it, yeah.
this top, yeah, that topic once before, and I saw this on the timeline asking if people minded about if top talent shows up to the venue or players, who are likely to win. I know while this might discourage some people who enter, I feel like this is one of those ways players get better. Like, I would ask them, you think about it, doesn't it feel good to finally beat that one person that's been cooking you every time you two have matched up in the bracket? Like, I know it has to be. Like, I mean, I've been in that situation a couple times where people already counted me out when I matched up against a strong player, and then when I beat them, it's crickets. So I feel like you shouldn't give up because
Hmm.
quitting, of course, is easier than trying. It's a boost of confidence to you as your development as a player. Don't withdraw from bracket. You made the drive all the way there, so you come with the intent. You came with the intent to play. Just because the world's best Luke or the world's best Ed shows up, let them know you ain't scared, man. You can do it. I believe, and that's because I've always preferred a good underdog story. And
Hmm.
I think for players like if they do show up, talk to them, let them ask. You could ask them to, hey, can we play sets or something? I mean, if their reaction is nah, or if their reaction is nah, then I mean that's their choice. I think we would have to like respect the choices of the people who make these decisions instead of just like lashing out at them because they prefer not to play. Um, we can't convince them, we can't force them to play. It's just that if they don't want to, if they decide run the set, that's on them. You would just move on to the next person or find a way to get better. If they won't play, you could also try to ask them, well, what do I need to work on? If they don't answer you, then find someone else who can help you out. I think everybody's not going to be as opening and welcoming for that, and I think we kind of forget that we're not entitled. People are not entitled to just be like, yes, I will run a set with you. Yes, I'll tell you what you need to do and stuff like that. Everyone's human. Everyone's not going to say yes to what you request of them, and rejection, that's a part of life. So just to take into account that, try not to take it personally if someone just says, hey man, nah, I don't feel like playing, or no, I prefer not to play. Just look for someone else who is willing to help and play, and increase, help you get better. So there's always going to be people out there. Yes and no is definitely a part of life. So just something to think about.
And I
What
would
you gonna
say,
say, Chris?
most pro players that I've met when I've gone to tournament, they've been very open about just answering questions when you just have questions about the game and want to talk to them. Like I've never really met any of them just being like, nah, I can't talk right now. I'm doing this. Like anytime you stop there and talk to them, they were more than happy to just answer any question you had. So I think people think because these players are like bigger than life in the scene that they're unapproachable. But a majority of the pros, like I can only speak for the ones I've met. Like they don't mind playing you. They don't mind giving you pointers, saying, "Hey, you need to work on this, do this." If you're in this situation with her, when I was talking to just a kid at CEO, he was just like, "Okay, yeah, do this, do this." When you're in this situation with her, do that. Like, be looking for this. So they are very open to you just coming approaching them and just talking to them like just like normal people.
Yeah, just like striking up a conversation. I mean, as long as you're not super awkward about it, I mean, they'll be more than happy to answer your questions if you got them. I think that they just, I don't know, some reason people just get intimidated to talk to others in public because I guess they don't know, either they're afraid of rejection or they just don't know how that person is going to respond to them. If that person ignores them and walks away, that can be a hurtful, that could be a harmful experience for sure, and that would kind of like deter anybody from, like, I guess, talking to people in public. But yeah, like you said, Chris, I mean, if you just just be cool, just be approachable. I mean, approachable with it and say, hey, such and such and such. I got a question. Do you have time? Talk about it. And if they say they don't have time, then that's fine. You move on to the next. But if they're willing to talk to you and have a quick conversation, then yeah. I mean, even when you're selling at pools, especially at pools, at events where people are just standing around and waiting for their match, they don't, it's all right to strike up a conversation with somebody. That's how you get to know them. That's how you develop that. Some people come for the game, but they stay for the people. That's a bar right there. The people are definitely what make that experience last for you. You know what I'm saying? So just to let everybody know, like, yeah, some people might be intimidated about approaching others. Just don't be, man. Just don't be. No one's like gonna be like, oh, get away from me. You suck. You're not good. I don't want to play you or talk to you. Get out of here. Nah, man. I think, like Chris said, the majority of people, they are approachable. It's just that you have to be the one willing to, to strike up that conversation and speak with them. on that. So don't
And
get discouraged.
oh, go ahead.
Mhm.
And
No, no, yeah, exactly.
just also be aware of the situation. If they just
Yeah.
came off stage and they just lost the match, just give them a few minutes to kind of just decompress and kind of just get their thoughts
Mhm.
together for a second. Don't just immediately just bum rush them as soon as they come off the stage, because you
Yeah.
might catch somebody in a bad mood because they just got put in the losers or something like that.
You're right. Yeah, respect the space. You know, a good 20 to 20 15 to 20 minute detox. There. Just give them time to to calm down, and then like maybe then afterwards then you could try to like approach them, but don't just like Chris said, don't just really run up to him and be like, hey man, what happened? I thought you would have won, and all this kind of crazy stuff, because I've seen that happen before. I have seen that happen before in person too. Someone lost their match on on stream, on stage, and then they tried to walk away, and then somebody just, I guess, I don't know if they I don't think he knew the person, but he just immediately just walked up to him and said, hey man, I thought you were gonna win. And I'm like, what? That's wild. Like why would you do that? But yeah, man, just respect people's privacy and space, and that's pretty much it, man. Like Chris said, got to be confident in yourself, and once you're confident in yourself, it'll carry over to your gameplay. Um, so yeah, before we move on to that next topic, anyone else got anything to say that about that before we move on?
No, good.
All
Like
right,
retro.
all right, good to go, man. All right, so yeah, I think the embargo is lifted right now. I think it's been about a good 2 weeks here since Mai's been out. So this is kind of like the Mai aftermath here. Like, man, have you guys tried out Mai yet?
Oh yeah,
Uh
I tried out on day one.
Day one. Okay, day one experience with Mai. Okay. All right, what you think about her, Chris?
She's fun. She's a fun character to play. It's just oh my god, this the character to me feels a little bit like she sits in between. Like she has some good buttons, like her standing medium and her heavy kick are good poke buttons, but it's just overall her fan setups are really just the most annoying thing I've ever played in this game. I'm gonna be honest, the fact that she can throw the fan, charge it, throw it, drive rush behind it, even if you backdash it, she's gonna go overhead, pin you down because she's +1 when she hits you, even if you backdash it. You can't really go forward because you try to dash forward and she drive rush, she's gonna push you back into the fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the character has like a lot of crazy setups with the fans, but I don't really think she's that strong until she gets like her fire stocks, because you can knock down the fans with just a regular punch. And if she throws a non-charged fan, you can just punch it, light punch it, drive rush behind it, and punish her. I think people are kind of getting annoyed with her because they don't know how to fight her yet, and there's not a lot of tech out to really how to defend against the fans and stuff. But I think once people kind of figure out how to defend against her, I think she's gonna drop a lot in the tier list.
Mm-hmm.
But she's still a fun character to play. Like if you want to basically get a lot of cheap wins, definitely pick this character up and start playing her.
Currently, at the moment, until everybody figure out what's going on. Because I mean, I admit that I have died into a couple of matches there, like only knowing like maybe two combos and just throwing the fan, and then it worked, and I got all the way to like Diamond 3
Yeah,
with
like
on that.
you only need two combos. Throw the fan, drive rush up, overhead. Oh, that you block the overhead. I'm gonna go crouching medium, or I'm gonna do crouching light.
And then now, rinse
Or
and
I
repeat.
drive rush up, or I drive rush to a throw, or I'm close enough. Once I get the throw, I can dash up, crouching light punch. Even if you block it, the three lights, I'm far enough out to where if you try to press a button, I can basically crouch medium punch and counter hit you.
There you go. She got some spacing traps on her, man. Like I know she's been out for a good 2 weeks now, so it's fair game on opinions. I mean, I think she did like some of her the gimmicky stuff that she did during like the first week or so may not work the same because people are labbing and discovering how to deal with fans and her target combo. Um, Her damage is light until she gets stocks, like Chris said. She does have the $1 million confirms, which is basically her crouching, medium kick, crouching, uh, medium punch into drive rush. Her level 1 super and her DP may need a slight adjustments. I ain't gonna lie. Like you can't really combo into level 1 unless you're in a corner like that, or you can get like a good read on the anti-air for it. Like I saw her like as mid-tier for the moment. Like nothing but nothing too powerful that you drop your current main for. Like, and I think it's some weird thing going on with her fans too. Like, her charge fans are bugged. Like, if you perfect parry them, like you lose drive gauge. So it's weird. Like, if you perfect parry her fans, like you could, like, I guess if you're listening right now, you wanna try it after the podcast. Just like perfect parry her charge fans, and I think you lose drive gauge for trying to perfect parry it. So that's kind of weird. So they'll probably more than likely fix that a bit later on. But
But
for most
even if
part,
you,
she's pretty standard.
but even if you hit her, like you block the fan, hit her, the fan's still there. Like it's coming down on top of you.
Yeah. So I think I don't know if it's the first or second part, the second bounce, but I think it's the first that you
It's the
lose drive
first.
gauge if you perfect. Yeah, you lose drive gauge if you perfect parry it. But yeah, they'll likely take care of that. But yeah, her DP probably needs some adjustments for sure. And I think just for the most part, she was pretty straightforward. Like I don't think there's anything too outstanding with her gameplay. There, I think she's like kind of has the whole fan. Like people know how to react to the fan. I think with Aki, somebody was showing me like they literally can't throw charge fans at an Aki player, um, and like yeah, just
because
people just laughing against certain situations.
because Aki has that what's it called, snake step or whatever it's called, where she kind of slides her foot on the floor.
Yeah, this is the die for it. Yeah, I've seen I've watched replays where people just instantly react to that with like if she tries to throw the fan. Or you just jump, spacing. Reason people will kind of just they'll throw the fan up close, and then like you said before, like they'll drive rush behind it because it's gonna get the bounce. So they either go high or low afterwards or try to throw you. So yeah, that's just something that I just noticing while I was just like playing and trying her out. There, retro, you tried out my
For about 30 minutes, and that was it. I'm sorry. She's for a while. I mess around with her a bit and watching her and see how she is in tournaments and stuff. She's fun, and I can understand why people might like her. It's just a character not my interest. The fan situation is interesting because it's something that you have to be watchful for because you have to watch her, and like you don't want to give her space or anything, or don't let her have a chance to like build up her fire stocks because like yeah, I don't think like she's gonna be. I don't think she's really strong, but she she has a few strengths that kind of helps her with neutral wise. But just that beyond that, like I said, my opinion may not. I'm not say it matter too much, but yeah, from what I experienced is that she, I don't know. I might play her some more to see if, but the thing is like being before she came out, she never been like this season. I just never been my cup of tea. So I kind of like not been so interested in messing around with her. But I did want to play a little bit of her so that way I can kind of feel what she can do and how the matchup could be against DJ and so forth particularly. But I don't know. It's I think I was kind of listening to what Chris was saying because has better analysis. Because I think in the long run, once you get used to dealing with her, she's not much of a threat like you would think she is. Just like I said, the fans is one of the big things that you don't let her level power up with, because then she becoming a little bit annoying. And like making her special stuff is definitely not safe on block except for the dive at a certain distance. but also too, like he also kind of intercept her in many cases. And granted, I didn't really play her that much in the King of Fighters or SNK fighting game series in general either. But her, I think her air mobilities and air situations, the fact that she can combo off, off the target combo and everything like that, and cancels into it, I think it's pretty cool. But I think like it's just not impressing me. So I might try to play her some more, maybe just to just and see how she is. But I don't know. I'm just waiting for season 3. Y'all, yeah, look.
I say you're not alone in it. You're not
He's
you're
waiting
not
on the
alone in
boat.
that
Yeah.
retro.
He's like, when season 3? Yeah.
Because from what I've seen, like she's not really popping up like she used, like other characters when they first come out. Like
Right.
when I go online and play, like I rarely run into Mai, like maybe 1 or 2 here and there, but it's like I might play 5 matches. I might play 1 Mai out of those 5. Like she kind of fell off real quick, compared to like Bison and Terry and all the other ones.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the standard affair. Whenever a new character comes out, people try them out for like that good first or second week, and then you start to see the numbers drop off. I just remember like when it was Terry's time and Akuma and Bison, like that's all you ran into during that the first week they were out because people were trying out the character and trying to use the character. So I could see the same situation there for mine, where a lot of players are just trying to get a good feel for the character, and then if it doesn't work for them, then they're gonna go back to their mains, or just they just think the character is just not as strong as their previous main, so there'd be no point in switching to them. But yeah, we'll
But
see.
that,
I mean,
but that was the thing though.
Cap-
But that was the thing. She dropped like the week she came out. She really wasn't that much on the ranking side or on the casual side. Like people kind of picked her up for the first day or two, and then all of a sudden she just kind of faded away.
quickest fall off, quickest fall off for a character. No, not like this. Oh man. I mean, you look at it. You look at what other characters can do, and it's like, damn, they can do what she does, but like 10 times better. So it's yeah. I mean, she has a few good things going for her, but overall, her kit probably would it's just not. I just don't. I don't see the vision as of yet. However,
She's
there could be a Maya Capcom Cup, so we'll see.
she's fun to play, but like her overall damage output is not really that high compared to other characters. Like you said, like why would I play mine when I can play Ken, Ryu, Yuri, other players that output more damage than she does? Just all basic B and B combos.
That's her archetype. She's supposed to be like what the speedy mix. Like she's supposed to be like a Kimberly type as character. But I think even Kimberly has a little bit more options and versatility to her versus what Mai has.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
especially with that DP.
I said I agree with you, Chato. Her kit is good. Her kit is a solid. She has a solid kit, but would I want to switch Jury out for her? I wouldn't switch Jury out for her.
I thought it was too early to throw in a towel, but I guess I say at least give them a month. Get a good month. Let these matchups play out. Let people get the experience with the character, and then we can kind of get the final nail in the coffin on how people feel about it. But I guess it was like people just throwing in the towel on her like that first week, the first and second week. They're like, Shadow says let her cook. Let her cook, yo. It says too early. Shadow's too early, man. It's still in the oven. Gotta give it a little bit more time. A little bit more time.
Well, everything is easier when you got modern mode, so.
Oh no, Shadow, you gonna let Chris talk to us like this, man?
Not the
You gonna let Chris talk to us
shade.
like this, man? Dang, dad. He's like, well, he's not wrong.
I don't blame him. Hey,
He's
if
not
I can
wrong.
if I can make the game easier by playing modern, I'll play it too. Like I ain't got no shame.
No shade in my game. He's just keeping it real, yo. I respect it. I respect it. But yeah, I mean, let's see. We'll see. I guess we'll get a little bit more time, and then I guess by then, by once the true honeymoon period is over, Lena will be on people's minds. So we'll see that character works out. I just want her to have healing. And that shit needs to be busted. I think she had a lot of moves, but I know they won't give her back everything, or maybe repurpose some of her moves into her target combos. I mean, season 3 is right around the corner, so we'll see. We'll see how
Nah,
Capcom's going
nah.
to do it.
If they
What you
give her
mean,
heal,
no?
if they give her a heal, I'm quitting Street Fighter 6.
She got her healing. That's a part of her staple. She was
No,
healing a dead horse in her trailer.
I I had to deal with healing in Street Fighter 4. No, I'm not dealing with that again in 5. I mean, it's for 6.
Uh, that no different from what
That mechanic is way too strong for this game, especially with drive meter.
dang. You said it would be too powerful. I mean, what? Maybe he gets his he can recover his drive gauge. Is that I mean, I know it's not health, but it's like it kind of feels like you getting another
But
extension
that's like a get out of
refill.
jail. That's like a get out of jail free card. Oh, I burnt myself out. Oh, I got a level 2 or a level 3. Okay, healing. I got full meter again. I'm like, no,
They would
I
have to
don't work.
like make her. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm about to say I don't work this hard to burn you out, and you can just get a knockdown and go into your super and basically recover full dry gauge or get 50 to
Yes,
75% of your health. No.
yes. That's what she had in the that's what he had in Street Fighter 4. That's how she had she'd knock you down. Let's crank this healing real quick. Delete half of your hard work. Repeat the process. Oh, I'm knocked down again. Guess what? I got ultra again. All right, let me pop another healing, and then we're back to you gotta kill me twice, yeah. But they made but they'll probably balance it out. I don't think they'll make it like too overpowering. Maybe make it a little bit.
The only way I could see it if they made it conditional, like Akuma's Raging Demon. Like you can get healing, but you have to give up all your meter,
Oh, your drive gauge?
all your dry gauge, all your super meter.
That man said you can go broke.
Gotta go broke to get healing?
Yep, where you heal, you getting 75% healing. It's got to be a trade off somewhere.
Okay. Okay, wait, hold on. Now, let's think about this. Let's because there might be something there. So you create healing. I guess we're gonna assume that healing is what, level 3 or level
Mm-hmm.
2? Okay,
Yeah.
so we get healing, but it takes away all of our drive gauge. It takes away, the super or whatever. Now you're in burnout. It puts you in burnout, but you still recover the health. So there's no interruption on the animation. So it plays like the animation. And you can't interrupt it. So you're guaranteed to get the health.
No, no, you have to get a hard knockdown. If she could just,
Okay,
she can't be interrupted like that, it would be too strong. Like there has to
it'll be too
be.
strong. Okay,
But
so
I
you
would be
can't.
willing to do it. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so you can hit her out of the healing animation.
Yeah,
You hit her out
she
of
would
it.
have.
Okay.
She would have to get setups to basically give a hard knockdown or something that knocks the opponent away that gives her enough time to basically do healing.
But can she cancel the healing while she's doing it? That's got to be the trade off. That she could be able to
Yeah,
cancel the healing.
if you do, you don't get the full 75.
You don't get the full 75. So the only way to really get a true 75 is probably put somebody on wall splat while they're in burnout and put it in stun. That's how you can kind of get the true 75.
Or do
But
like they used to do a hard knockdown like they did in Street Fighter 4 and then backdash twice and then activate.
yeah, and then you could cancel the animation. I mean the healing animation, and you could block, but you still get some of the health back.
Mm-hmm.
It still
Because
it still costs your drive gauge.
it should be depending on how much healing you get back is how much drive gauge you lose. If you take the full healing,
Oh,
you should lose your drive gauge, all your drive gauge.
you know what? That's that's fair. I think that's fair because there's some burnout demons out there that can fight while in burnout. Then even if you get the wall splat, they do whatever combo they can do, and then you get your meter back, but you still have slightly more health than what you did originally. So yeah, I like that. I like that. Let's keep that. That's a good idea, Chris.
I just said
I
that
feel
that
like
has
it's a huge risk, a huge reward, yo. Let's keep
yeah,
that.
it has to be some risk reward there. She can't just be
Yeah,
able to do it with no risk to it.
yeah. That's the punishment. Like you sacrifice your drive gauge in order to get healing, but there's levels to it. So it's a big risk. So if you get put in burnout, you get whatever combo and somebody could kill you, potentially kill you. So all right, all right, I see the vision. I'll take that. Shout out to bro. I thought you didn't want healing, yeah. Her healing, let her healing only be level 3. Nah, dog. Her level 3 gotta be cinematic. It's gotta be a cinematic combo. They can't just be like, all right, what she gonna do? Push you on the ground and then just like look up to the sun and all her health gonna come back?
Unless you make it a CA where she can only use it like Akuma. He can only use Raging Demon when he's in the yellow.
I can see that too. I'd be like, man, but damn, she's basically then she'll just become Gil. Like just get but at that point, then if she can only use healing while she's in yellow, but yeah, I'm very interested to see how they're gonna deal with her character for sure. So she's probably one of my most anticipated characters for season 2. Retro's like, nah. As soon as he saw the lineup for season 2, he said, all right, win season 3. Damn, Retro. Damn, Retro. I understand the vision. He's waiting on that one particular character. I know who he's waiting on.
Yeah,
I know who he's waiting.
but what the director said, I don't think it'll be happening because they haven't find a way to continue him on.
He's
that should confirm.
Retro's waiting for highway robbery to get into the game.
I mean,
he wants to just address the people of the earth. He just wants to talk to the earth. That's all. Yeah, that's all. I understand Retro. What you say? They not gonna put him in? Why they not gonna put him in? He was like, they just gonna introduce a major character, leave his story hanging, and say, nah, he ain't coming back.
Well, because the way it was, what he worded, the director said that he said that like it's difficult to find a way to fit him in, and hopefully they can tell the story if they can do so one day. And I'm like, yeah, because the thing was, because like I said, from in 5, he was supposed to be the original. And the way everything like happened, it lead up. He supposed to be like the end of the world of some sort, according to Rose's terror, and then like fighting him in the story. But with everything kind of happened afterwards, and everything kind of like felt normal, then nothing like big happened. Besides Bison's still alive, yeah, you hear nothing about him. So I'm not sure if they're trying to find a way to fit him in at some point, but I don't think we'll see him soon. I might, if I'm lucky, I'm betting like season 5.
Like season 5, what?
Because the thing about
season 5.
Well, we're getting less characters. Well, we got 4 characters per season so far. And the thing is that you haven't seen any of the Third Strike characters, or the other like probably like a new character or character from like Street Fighter 4. So the thing, they probably have those are like they come out first, and then they might find a way to build G back into it, maybe. Because yeah, the way it was written and the way Street Fighter 5 ended story wise, it was like a cliffhanger. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, they just like started his story, gave a little bit of context to it, and said, "All right, we leave." Refuses to elaborate any further, and then leaves. So, they'll finish the story up here in 6 because they just introduced this new character towards the end, and then it was like, all right, that's it. Y'all just gonna guess what happens after that. But season 3 around the corner, so we'll definitely see what happens. here. So we're gonna move into our last topic before we close out the day. I know we couldn't get to everything, but it's all good. I definitely do appreciate you guys for tuning in, all of our live viewers and everyone listening to the rebroadcast, and especially to our special guest for the day, FGC Chris. So we're gonna dive into our last topic here, and we'll go ahead and continue from there. So this one is actually pretty interesting. I saw this on the timeline too as well. So this one it's called Carried by V Trigger or Carried by Drive Rush, yo. Let's talk about that. Now, it gets a little spicy because game mechanics and the use of them can affect the perspective of the person using them to play the game. So a lot of people do not we should know that a lot of people do not like Street Fighter 5, and there are those out there who do not like Street Fighter 6. They find Street Fighter 6 bleh. There are those who out there who didn't even like Street Fighter 4 and said that Street Fighter 3 was overrated and bad. So I have $1 million question for the whole world. What the fuck is Street Fighter supposed to be? Sorry about that. Game mechanics can affect the outcome of a match, of course, but no fighting game is without its flaws. Based on the person's personal preference. Try saying that 3 times fast. Person's personal preference, whatever, blah blah blah. Like everybody, like not everybody is going to like the same game you do. So you should not force yourself to play something you ultimately do not enjoy. Let's look at this though. Let's look at it from a design perspective, right? I will say that certain V trigger activations in Street Fighter 5 are much stronger than others in the game. So it's a very neutral controlled game until V trigger activation happens, right? Some characters can combo directly to their V trigger, and some have to like just do a raw activation just to do them. And you get V trigger by potentially two of them, depending on which one you pick. When you're about half of your health remaining. So there is meta around this activation point because you're basically putting an advantage when you activate and then you complete pace of the match. And then you control the pace of the match at that point because you're trying to be careful and not to get mixed and lose. So there are options to defend versus V trigger activation, like blocking, V reversal, or lately like the what they add toward the end, the V shift. But I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking, yo. But Shadow Ace, that's easier said than done. But these are all control actions. So Street Fighter 6, if you get put in burnout, there's a higher chance of you losing the round. And if you are in the corner, you might as well just pack it up. Catch this wall splat, and then it's G shake my hand. Good set. A game that forces you to react or do even more damage. I feel like it's not a good design in my opinion. I mean, if I'm playing defense, why should I be forced to switch to offense? Like, I know people thinking, "Oh, Street Fighter Five is the same thing." Nah, it's kind of not. You know what I'm saying? I can at least block twice as long before I forced to make a decision in Street Fighter Five, but it's not tied to my EX meter, which is also a reversal option. Like, point is that both of these games have mechanics that people consider terrible, but you just learn to play with them and play through them or play something else. So when I see people saying like, "Dang, dog, X and X player is carried by V Trigger," or X and X player was carried by Drive Rush, I just shake my head and just look at it because mechanics, point of view, these are things that exist. Like I don't even know at this point what Street Fighter is supposed to be to appeal to everybody. Like I'm always seeing complaints about every single game. So I need help understanding this. Maybe Chris, you got a good perspective on this retro. Maybe you got maybe you could shed some light on this. I'm lost, bro. So Chris, talk to me, yo. What we got?
I got a question for you, Shadow. Who are the
Yeah,
people
talk.
complaining about Drive Rush?
Bro, or saying that they don't like Drive Rush.
Mm-hmm.
I'm one of them. I don't like Drive Rush.
Minority.
Why don't you like it?
I don't like it because it's forcing you to put yourself in plus frames on, and plus no, you're forcing your opponent to put them into a plus situation that takes away their gauge too as well when you're pressing buttons on your advantage, and you will eventually put them into a burnout state where they're forced to react. And I don't think defense should be played that way on the game.
So if you had a chance to do it, how would you tweak like Drive Rush? Because me personally, if I had to tweak Drive Rush, me and Retro talked about this at one point on my podcast, and I had to really rethink about some things, like to where if you see somebody drive rushing at you, you can just tap back and drive rush back to create space. That would change a lot of these situations where people are just, oh, I'm just going to drive rush right at you. Because I think they, because honestly, I think they tie way too many mechanics to the drive meter. It's like drive reversal, drive impact, drive rush, raw drive rush, EX moves, everything. And then you don't take chip to your health bar, you take it to your drive gauge, which I agree with you. I don't particularly like the fact that it forces you to make decisions when sometimes blocking is the best option. But the way the game,
you're forced to do something. So it's like you're taking yourself out of that potential state. And when you try to react to it, either you get punished or there's a high chance that you would guess right to just to get them off, but you're still at a disadvantage because you don't have enough meter to really defend yourself. So you can't, like, even when you're blocking, using an EX move as a reversal is risky.
True. But me personally, I don't like it just because, like I told Retro, I don't like the fact that, because sometimes in a match, blocking is the best option. It's like, there's not an option to do anything right here. I need to just block this out. But I'm looking at my drive meter and I'm like, okay, if I keep blocking this, he's going to burn me out. And then I'm in a worse situation than what I was. If I EXDP and he knows I'm going to EXDP and he blocks it, then he's going to probably get about 40%, 40% damage on me if he doesn't have a level 3 already on deck. So it forces you to make decisions you don't want to make. And that's the problem that's the problem I could have with it. Me personally, when I play, I use it more so, oh, I made a mistake. Okay, I'm going to just drive rush to give myself plus frames to get out of this situation, even if it puts me in a bad situation.
I know you say parry, right? That's what does parry use? What do you have to use to parry?
You have to use
use your meter, right? Yeah, use your meter the parry, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm just checking. Go ahead, Chris. You were saying?
Like they really need. That's why I kind of feel like it's going to be a big overhaul, because I think they see the problem with the drive meter in the drive system, and that they're going to address that probably in a big patch. And to me, that's going to really determine where this game's going to sit with people. And I get it. People don't like drive rush because it's a neutral skip. I could just come right at you, and you either make a decision and throw a button out there, or you just take the block and take the chip damage. But to me, it's hard to really just say I don't like the game because of that. There's things about, I don't like drive rushing the throw. I don't like the throw loops that come with a lot of stuff. But to me, it's stuff about the drive meter they need to fix, and they kind of have been doing it where certain moves give you more drive meter. But if I'm
they've been making adjustments. Yeah, like sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Like they have been slowly making adjustments where meter, like I've been noticing on the like patch notes when they're putting in for characters now, such and such now gains more meter. This gains more meter. This gains less meter. So they definitely are making adjustments to the meter gain for that, but it's still got a long way to go there. But yeah, you were saying?
But I'm just looking at it from the jury's perspective. Like the stuff they gave her where she gains more meters, like I wouldn't really just use that move on block or just drive rush into it unless I block the DP or something like that. So it's like stuff that they gave some characters to me is kind of useless. It's like, what's the point of this? And I feel like they don't really know where they want to go with the drive system yet. And they're kind of just looking around and trying to figure out, okay, what can we do to fix the drive system to make it better? Well, honestly, I've seen videos where people have modded the game where they've taken the screen freeze out and shown like this is what the game would be like without it. And drive rush is pretty much unreactable because it pops so fast. And there's mods that you can see what the game looks like if they take certain things out. And if you think this game is bad, you don't like it now, play those. Just go watch those videos where they show what it'd be like if you took drive meter out, drive rush out, and all that stuff. The screen freeze.
So there are mods where people like, what are you talking about? Does a screen freeze when they're about to do the drive
No,
rush?
no, they completely removed the screen freeze. So you just drive rush.
Oh,
Like, as soon as you input it, it comes out without the screen
it
freeze.
just instantly it just instantly comes out without. Okay, damn. Well, I mean, I feel like that's it's not out the realm of possibility for a complete system overhaul. I'm pretty sure there are where like they've collected data and done research, and with each patch that comes out, they're looking at the characters, like the characters that have been top tier. Hell, what Evo Wars just had had a category saying the best button in the game, and it was Ken's crouching medium kick. So now, what's gonna happen on the next patch? They're gonna nerf that to oblivion, or just keep it in for the memes. But yeah, I feel like slowly over time, I think we're gonna get a different game. The end product, I think, like a few years from now, where we can like go back. Well, remember how Street Fighter 6 was during its second year? How much different it is, because that's kind of what happened with Street Fighter Five. Like the beginning of the years, the first few years of Street Fighter Five, and the last few years are like completely different. They're completely different games. So I feel like that can definitely be the case for Street Fighter Six if they make like a complete engine overhaul or like try to tie different things. Like if I feel like if they put chip damage back in, but it doesn't tie to your drive gauge, how different would the game be?
I
Like
was like, why just
they just they'll still put like white life and chip damage in, but it doesn't take away from your gauge anymore. How different would a game would be?
either that or
That's
just make it
the
to where Street Fighter Five, where you could chip people. Like you said, you could get health back, but you couldn't chip somebody out to kill them unless you had a super on deck.
mm-hmm. Yep.
But
And
I kind of
now
hate.
you
I just kind of hate the way the
no, you
game
was
is.
saying.
I just kind of hate the way the game has turned into the low forward the game, low forward
That's what
drive
it
rush.
is. But that's the low forward 30 to 40%. Knock them down, guess again,
Because
shimmy, and we're gonna repeat the process and do it again. And I
in
can
my,
tell you,
I'll go ahead.
I was gonna say because I did. I mean, I even did an experiment. I promise you, I did this experiment, and you can even look at my replays if you'd like to. I just like, all right. So what happens if I only win a match just by doing low forward drive rush combo, knock them down, shimmy, and just repeat the process? What happens? And I literally won the match just by doing that. I said, "Wow, this is where we're at right now.
What
This
was
is it. This is it.
this is for you and this for you, Shadow and Retro. What was the first thing people asked about Maya when she was shown?
Low forward.
Yep. Does she have a low forward drive rush? That was the
Yeah,
first
low
thing that
forward
came
driver.
out of people. That was the first thing that people started asking. Not was this button good? No, what can she do? Does she have low forward drive rush?
Does she got
And
low forward drive rush?
that feels like that's
Now,
all.
mhm.
And it feels like that's just pretty much what the game was boiled down to. Like, oh, I block your string, I'm finna walk back low forward. Like the second you try to walk back from anything low forward, I'm in the neutral game, low forward. Either low forward fireball, low forward drive rush grab.
Okay. That was like, and then I think they did it in the trailer too. Like when it was showing the trailer, they were doing the trailer, and people was asking about that. But yeah, man, that's a move that pushes you into a force plus frame situation that's kind of tied to your entire defense. Is yeah, that's not a good design for me to me, in my opinion. I understand that they try to do something different with it in the engine, but I think it already like left a lot of sour taste in several players agenda on like keeping playing the game And I've heard them say, "Oh, well, let's see what season three look like." Okay, well, I'll come back when season three is when they showed everybody in season three. Let's see if they change everything. But and I think we said this at the beginning, retro, and like maybe a previous episode. We was like, man, if it's still the same way a year or so later, then I don't know if it'll keep the interest of certain people, because you would still be winning the same way, and that's just such a strong tool in this game right now. And either you can adapt and learn how to deal with it, or it's just gonna keep happening. But you can't play a certain way. You can't play the game a certain way. I realized this like a year ago. Like I was like, I can't do down back. You cannot down back in this game. It's not going to work for you. Lose by blocking. So you have to do something. So that was kind of like, in my opinion, was like, all right, I know I can't play a defensive play style in this game, or else I'm going to lose. I have to press something. I have to do something.
Like, Shadow, can I ask you a question? Because you play Lily, right?
Oh, Chado? You talking about Chado?
No, I'm talking about you.
No, I don't play Lily.
Oh, I thought you did play Lily.
No. I mean, I played it during like the first season.
I'm not sure who you're playing right now, but whatever character you're playing right now, Jamie, if you're crouching and I do crouching medium kick, drive rush with you, what would you think I would do?
Overhead or grab?
Correct. And pretty much every player plays the exact same way with every character. Jury players play a specific way. Ken players play a specific way. Ryu players, they all play the same. There's no one that really has an individual style in this game, because the game has just been boiled down to just, this is the most optimal route.
And because to play the game.
And since pro player says this is the most optimal route, that's the route I'm going to take. So nobody really expresses themselves in the game.
Drive, rush, jab. Damn, that is so true. So true. Drive, rush, jab. And I bet you can go to trainer mode right now, do drive, rush, jab, get a counter hit, combo into whatever, and then you take off a clean 40% of your opponent's health just because you did drive, rush, jab. That's wild to think about, by the way. But that was just something to point out. That was kind of like the reasoning. Like, I don't think overall it's just that. Other than that, I feel like the game fundamentally is good. It's not a terrible game. Like, there are options to defend against and react to these things. Like, there are options to deal with that stuff. But I just think core overall, I don't like how that mechanic is in that game. And I'm pretty sure you or anyone else that's listening right now may have seen a tweet or two out there saying that, man, this game would be a lot better if they got rid of drive rush, or they got rid of this or something like that, or made an adjustments. But for the most part, even at Capcom Cup, you may see the same scenario where guess what happens? Low forward in the drive rush, and GG, shake my hand. There it is. Or get the knockdown, put your opponent in two more situations, and then they won the round. Yeah. So we shall see. I mean, season 3 is around the corner. I think a lot of people got big high hopes that they're gonna make some changes to the engine, or like make some big announcement there. But I definitely don't see them doing another year as is with the current engine of the game. What do you think, Chris?
Like I said, I do think they're going to overhaul the system and tweak some more things. I think they're going to keep working on the drive system, because I'll be honest, if you took the drive system out of the game would be kind of boring to me. It's just like we be right back playing Street Fighter 4 again.
Just okay. Damn, that's something to think about. Definitely something to think about. Then, retro. What you think?
There's a video that I say y'all should watch that Sajam did. He actually did an hour experiment of what it's like to play without drive rush at all completely. He used Ryu, for example, of not getting to master without using drive rush, and it's very weird. It's so weird, and actually other characters too he messed around with, I think. And I watched it before because about the conversation that was going around at the time. It's yeah, he actually experimented.
Wait a minute, I got questions.
Yep.
I have questions because a majority of the combos you need drive rush to do it. So is he saying is he saying not doing raw drive rush, or is he just saying like what?
Myself. Me myself. So the thing is that there's the game functions, but there's something about it that's off considering the concept of the game design. And apparently, like Ryu is one of the characters that can benefit off of Dry Rush because he gets a good combo extension. Without it, it's like he very limited. And I get what you're saying about where Drive Rush can unfortunately, because one, the game itself is designed to be more aggressive in a sense overall. Granted, they have defense options. Two, it forces more engagement from your opponent when you're trying to defend and find ways to fight, to take your turn, and so forth. And your opponent has a character, or rather has a way to utilize Drive Rush to close in, skip neutral, or whatnot. But I think the concept and the idea from the developers was the idea of Drive Rush, it's a unique dash cancel. And because the problem that is that if you take away Drive Rush and what you've seen in the video, JP, Guile, characters that are very defensive, they will just give them put them top tier because now you can't close in on them anyway. JP will lock you out forever. You would never get a chance to close in, and that's the thing that I noticed that, and I'm like, yeah, like they will have a way to keep you out, and so forth. But there's no doubt cancel. Zangief will be dead. Zangief would be deleted off the roster. Not because that character is one that can benefit from Drive Rush. And the thing is, it's an option for both ends of the players. But the thing is that when you're getting pressured on, it's annoying, and I can understand that. And you have someone like Jury, Bison, DJ for sure, because obviously I play him. Those characters they thrive off really well with Drive Rush, and you do have Manon, Marissa, a few other characters that don't do too well, and that's just more of the neutral effect of just using it raw. But when it comes to combo extensions, that's where it really helps shines from many other characters because the damage output overall, obviously once again DJ. Then you have someone like Ken, and then you have someone like Luke. You have Ryu. Like basically taking away getting rid of it or tweaking it dramatically without the ramifications of like changing the game itself. It's going to be like it's really going to hurt the game more than you think. It's not going to really be beneficial. The right now at the moment as this. It may be an answer to find a way to tweak it without causing a terrible imbalance of Drive Rush. Personally, I like Drive Rush for what it is as far as because I see it as a dash cancel close in, and for me the way I play Drive Rush, and a lot of times what I've seen people do, they will Drive Rush into throws and Drive Rush to do a move that's safe. I'm play wild with DJ, and it helps me mix it up because I can Drive Rush jab, I Drive Rush do nothing, I Drive Rush fake out, I Drive Rush back sway into cancel, I Drive Rush like throw. I mix it up, and as a result, for that character may speak for that character in particular. It's fun for me because then I can pressure you to try to do something, or I can pressure to maintain my offense because I want to have my turn no matter what. So the thing that's the concept for me, and the concept with the Song DJ, and then in general, um, like as much as I hate to be the victim of being someone and they have enough meter to drive rush to me and I take 7% damage as a result, can, but it's it's fitting for what they're trying to do as for the developers, and I'm like being the devil's advocate in that sense because the idea of combos in this game, you want to have like a extended combo concept as not maybe high execution, but like constant input, flashy substances. It adds more flashiness to it as an aesthetic, because Street Fighter Five for me was boring, and as someone who used V Trigger, in the case, and benefits really well V Trigger with G, I didn't like the concept of V Trigger that much because it's like, oh, I get beat up. Oh, well, I got V Trigger. Okay, GG's, I won. Like it was literally a comeback factor. Where in Street Fighter Six is not much of a comeback factor but regardless of how many resources you have versus what type of resources you have. Because you can come back if you have drive rush and beat somebody up and maybe a GG with low forward, but the fact that the comparison, the concept of what like the mechanic that developers made and was intention in mind with V Trigger being like, hey, I build a certain meter up, I power up, I get more unique moves, and I can shut down the match. And what it turned to obviously was a huge momentum match, no matter what the character. Because even Guile could be just really chill. He don't have to be offensive that much in that game, even though they made it a little more offensive for him. But once you pop the V Trigger, Sonic, and then if you get hit, you literally just put your controller down and watch the movie. If I pop the V Trigger G, command grab, watch the movie. If I pop the V Trigger with Ryu, alright, and I get a hit, sweep, build up the electric, you can't block, unblockable, I win. Like, that's pretty much it was that. Drive Rush is very strong, and I'm not going to argue against it that it's not strong. I'm not going to argue as fast. Yeah, it is strong, but I don't think it's a huge issue as I think people make it out to be. It can be annoying, and it's more for those but the thing is, if you use it on your opponent, because you have options to use it out of it when you do it raw or canceling or whatever, and I think just for me is just that to tweak it, either going to cost more, but then even then, that might affect how much resources can change around. I want to say they did change it, either the cost or something, but the play without it, like I said, watch that video, it's weird, and it feels like something is not right with the game itself, not having drive rush the main focus. It's possible to still win without it, but the essentials for what drive rush can do for certain characters, in this case, is needed. Now, will there be a new mechanic to be added in the game? That won't be, that won't be surprising, and that won't, that definitely will be a thing. Will it be an anti-drive rush mechanic, or will there be a character created to kill drive rush on concept? I think that's possible, and I think that might eases the worry of drive rush being strong, where there's a counter effect. What it is, I can't entirely don't say, because the fact is not much of an attack versus a movement concept. But the fact, if you your opponent's going to anticipate your opponent's going to use drive rush, you just throw a button out there, they're going to get hit by it, unless it's a move that's invincible. But yeah, otherwise, I think drive rush is okay. It is strong, but I don't think it's the end of the world. That's all I say.
Okay,
but what if they did like Grand Blue Fantasy, where now you have where they got the Brave points? But those are basically like V shifts. You get like 3 or 4 of those per round. And now you can basically V shift for drive rush.
Oh, Guile will be top 2.
But it has,
Guile be like, all right, cool, drive rush, and I just like shift out of the engagement, bam, counter hit. All right.
And think about this too as well. It's that Geef has to use drive rush just for movement because slow walk speed, and he uses drive gauge for movement. That's why you see Geefs doing the double drive rush just to get close to their opponent. But they have to use that resource just for movement, right? Like the larger, slower characters have to use that for movement. Marissa has to use that for movement. So like for the smaller characters with walk speed and jump speed, all that, they don't really have to use the mechanics for movement like that. They use that for their combos and I guess defensive options. But for bigger characters, they have to use that to move in, like the slower characters. So just imagine like if they put another big grappler or maybe it's a god or something in there for season 3, they have to use that meter just to move forward into the game, which I don't think that's good. Um, but I guess the trade off is I guess they give higher health. They have higher health so they can take more punishment as far as combos and stuff, and they dish out and output more damage. So the game is like in the. I feel like the game is not complete. I don't. I feel like it's not. I mean, it's not in the alpha or beta phase or whatever. But I feel like this isn't the final version that's envisioned for Street Fighter 6. I feel like there's something more that's coming that will be added to the game later on. I can't see it being the same engine for the next 6 to 8 years. That's what I'm thinking. Like even the whole entire like layout or overlay for the game will get an overhaul for sure. So like I think the first year is like the first 2 to 3 years is like let's put the game out there, let's promote it, let's market it, let's get people playing. Then once people are playing and they're set in, then let's try to change it up mid season and see if we can get even more new players in because the game will be revamped and it'll bring back players who may have already put the game down before and bring them back and let's bring in new players along with them. So I feel like that's going to be the strategy here is to let the game rock for the first 2 or 3 years and then this is when we get the overhaul, in my opinion. But
mm,
but for the most part, it's kind of like what you got, Chris. I hear that. What's going on? You talk to me. We got you.
I don't know if the game can make it 2 years without an overhaul. Because when I look around, I see a lot of people like, I'm just done with the game. And I got the master, I'm done. Or they just got bored with the game because they just feel like it's just drive rush the game. I think especially like you can tell like the last patch that came out, they basically brought in the new master ranks. Like they're listening to the community and I think they know that there's a problem and that they don't have. I think that's probably been the main thing they've been focusing on. That's why we haven't really got costumes and all these other stuff. They've been focusing on changing and fixing the game and trying to make improvements. And I just don't think like if you try to stretch it out 2 years in this game, because even to me at times the game gets kind of boring, where I don't really want to play it and I lose interest in playing just because like I can go online, I pretty much know what I'm gonna face because like I said, everybody plays the same. Everybody kind of follows the same script, and it's just kind of at times gets me to the point where I'm just like I'm bored with it. Like you're not really facing. I think the drive rush system makes bad players better because if they had, if
Whoa,
you,
whoa, whoa, whoa! Say that one more time.
I think it
That's a
makes
bar.
I think it makes bad players better
It
because a
makes
lot of times,
bad players better. Damn.
because I've played players and I'm playing them and I'm like, you burning out in the first 5 seconds of the game because you're just trying to impress your offense on me. And I'm like, you're burnt out. Now I still got full meter pretty much. And now I'm basically able to just damage you pretty much to the point of killing you before your drive meter even comes back. It's like people just think because drive rush is there, that the only thing you're supposed to do is just drive rush at people. It's like no, there's a game to it. Like you drive rush, try to drive rush overhead mix up, drive rush, drive rush light punch, and try to draw out a DP. Like there's other stuff you can do with drive rush. It's just not there to just give you plus frames. But a lot of bad players just use it like it's expendable because they feel like, well, I can go into burnout. It's gonna come back in about a minute. Give it like a few 60 seconds or whatever. It'll be right back. And it just
I mean,
like I
they
don't know
could.
why people just I don't know why people just
Wow.
feel,
Well,
I don't
that's
know,
a,
it just feel like people just don't care about burning out.
well. I think because
Well, that's
they don't understand how to manage resources. Like that's the problem with that people don't get about the game. Like in general, well, initially, not everyone can understand how to like manage resources. They can read about it and understand the cost and everything, but the problem is that when it comes to is learning how to manage resources, people who do that, you know, especially actually, if you play against someone that definitely knows when they're going to go out and so forth, that's that 50 seconds that you think you have time for, you're in burnout, and they take notice of that. No, that's check. That could be nearly checkmate. Especially now, the way that if you're in burnout, certain characters has a loop. You're going to be wishing you had the drive. Well, you have drive meter because when they get you on it now, because the thing is, once you get to a certain point though, when the rankings like maybe diamond to masters, you start seeing where people learn about managed resource versus not. And yeah, granted, some characters are beneficial. Well, not beneficial, but they are okay without drive meter in general. The fact that that's a risk that it takes is a big risk to take. Noah like for example, would be a good example of a character that he plays like he doesn't care, but there is an actual strategy and idea to how he plays, and
there's a method to the madness.
it is, and but he played, and I play like technically recklessly in that sense too, but at the same time, is where like okay, because he'll know when if you're burnt out, he know when to close in or know how to shut you down or make sure you can't recover your drive meter do crazy stuff anymore. Like, and then over time, once you get to a certain point, you start seeing the pattern of players that's okay. I threw out too much of my drive meter and I'm getting shut out every time. Versus okay, oh I got this. Like you were saying earlier, I got I shut out. I'm burnt out. Well, I think I'll be all right. I can just block through because either they have a character that can withstand being burnt out, or their opponent are not being aware about the resources that messed up and they're not taking advantage of it. And that's the thing. It depends on the situation. And I think too many situations have been seen where players will throw it all out, and then the opponent don't have the opportunity because maybe the character or tools or situation, or the fact that they don't be aware the opponent burnt out and they just like, oh well, let me just play neutral or let me play something, and then oh snap, he halfway recovering, let me do something now. Oh what? Too late. Now he's halfway. They're halfway back. They're all the way back now. Well, here we go again. EX fireball neutral, crouching whatever driver just that third. I think that's the thing. Because I think like once you start playing much more top tier players, they will not when they see you burn out, they gonna you're there's blood in the water for them, and you would never get a chance for sure. Now I think someone says it may homogenize top tier play with the driver system, and they said if you don't use it, you kind of lose it.
Yeah, I've played against master rank players that do it. Like I played a master rank Manon that just basically burnt itself out within the first few seconds of the match. Getting a little bit of damage, but I'm like, okay, you're burnt out and you're Manon. Like all I gotta do is throw a fireball out, walk behind it. What are you gonna do?
Throw a fireball.
And I'm just
um hits I forgot her name. That move. I can bypass fireballs. Command grab you because Manon. It sucks for her, but she has damage, and that thing like.
But that's only if you're not expecting it. I'm throwing the fireball and walking behind it because I know you can only come through with it, try to do the command grab. So the second I see you twirl, I'm jumping, neutral jumping. You're gonna go right under me, and I'm just gonna do standing fierce, jumping fierce, excuse me. Come down, hit you on the other side, and just go ahead and drive rush you to the corner.
Okay, then
I'm just you got a game plan.
I'm gonna play chess with you, but
that's something I'm gonna point out later. Go ahead.
So you throw that fireball and so forth. You walk behind it, and depending on what character you have, and you might try to jump, or you might just approach the if I don't try to spin or do anything about a block, then what would be your next move? Like basically,
who are you playing? Like who are you playing?
I'm still playing Manon.
It depends on who I'm playing.
Like Manon versus Jury. So if I'm thinking that you're playing like Jury, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm just basically throwing that like a scenario. You know, if I'm burnt out with Manon and I see you throw a fireball at me, and of course, no. Here's the thing that in my head: you have options. You can walk up, throw, you can jump, you can do everything else. So depending where we are, whatever. But I could block. Would you then, if I block, would you then try to jump, or would you try to throw? And that's where like that part you start seeing what could be you start seeing.
If you block, if I threw the fireball, walked up behind it, you blocked it, I would probably as soon as I see that you're gonna block, immediately drive rush light. Because now I'm plus in your face. And now you have to either guess, am I going to throw you or am I going to try to frame trap you? Because I can go in with a light, do crouching fierce, store, that's going to push you out. If you try to retaliate with a button, I can parry and get a perfect parry.
Now, do I have enough meters for... Now, the other thing, too, is now that's one scenario. There's also, if I have a meter that's invincible, because I then can, like, bypass all that. That's an option. Or if let's see, she had two meters. So she had two supers to do that. So basically, I was
like me personally when I'm playing characters, I throw stuff out there because I want to see how you're gonna respond to it.
Right.
Once I kind of got a feel like this is how you're gonna respond to. Okay, I'm gonna throw it out, let it go for a few seconds, walk behind it, stop. Let's see if he's gonna do so. Oh, he's not gonna do something. Okay, let's keep going forward. Is he gonna jump? Is he gonna plie? Is he going to try to command grab me? Oh, let's just see what he's going to do. Because a lot of time, if you force players into certain situations, they're going to fall back on what they know. Oh, I did wake up DP on him last time. It worked last time, so I'm going to do it again. But I remember you did that. And this is kind of right back in the same situation. So are you going to do it again? And is plenty of players that want people refer back to their most common action once you put them in a pressure situation. So even though he did it one time and it worked, and it hadn't worked any other time after that, if you put them in a situation where the pressure is on them, they're going to revert back to that thing because it worked one time. So you really have to start playing the player more so than the character.
Yeah, and now the thing about this, now I'll probably say from my experience, I actually do a lot of stuff different because I'm more what they call random. I actually do random stuff. So I may not do exactly what you depending on where in the position located, like corner, whatever like that, you might have that good advantage and might put me in a checkmate situation. But if there are times where in this game, and I'm saying even with Dry Rush, it's so many options in checkmate for you pressure me for throw a fireball, I'm just gonna parry it. I'm basically like
but you're in burnout.
Burnout, right, yeah. Excuse me. So I'm burnout, okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm if you're waiting, then I'm gonna wait. Cause then I'm gonna see what you're trying to do. I may not be that player that be like, you know what? Oh no, what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna burn out. I'm gonna press a button. So a lot of people, that's where I'm different versus whoever else may play Manon. If you play Ireland now, we might see, or not sure if we ever get a chance in any of us, but if you play Ireland's Manon, he might be in that situation where he might not be like the Manon that you may normally see or interact with. He probably will wait.
Cause honestly, I'm gonna like. Because honestly, Rusty, when I watch you, I can't say about your Manon because I haven't seen your Manon. But your DJ, you say you're random, but I look at it and I'm saying you're not really random. To somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing, it looks random. That hasn't played you. But the more I've played you, the more I basically look at stuff and be like, okay, I kind of know what he wants to do right here. So I'm gonna give him that because I got more health, I got more meter. So if he wants to play DJ and he wants to just sit back there, throw slashers. I'm not sure what the circle one it's called. What DJ calls that one? Okay, he's gonna throw that out. He's either gonna drive rush. Yeah, he's either gonna drive rush behind it, drive rush, sway back, try to trip me up when I jump over it, or he's gonna try to jackknife. Okay, so I know those options are there. So instead of doing that, I'm just gonna parry and see what he does after that.
I have actually 5 things
I feel like
I would do.
I feel like I want to take away options that you might want to do. And I'll take, and me playing as risky as I play, sometimes I'll look up and just get a straight hit and convert that into damage that I need.
Okay. So you constantly are thinking about the next move before your opponent, trying to stay two steps ahead of him. So you got a lot of hypotheticals going on while you playing. It seems. Like, what if
it's more player, not it's more me knowing player. I played Kurt so long, I played Big Boss DP so long. Like I've played them so many times, like I kind of know how they like to play. So it kind of is like when I beat Big Boss DP, I kind of knew how he wants to play Ken. I know what he wants to do, but I'm not going to give it to you. You want a Dragon Lash in? I'm not giving it to you.
Okay. So you do get, so you got the plan then. You got the gameplay because it's a player based thing because you're familiar. Versus if you were playing like someone else and they may play just as wild, but may do 1 or 2 things that are different, that could throw you off.
Yeah. Like it's like when I played Chado and I took a round off of Chado, but I took a round off of Chado because that was like the first time me and Chado ever played. So Chado never really played me. So he doesn't really know how I play Jury. He knows how other people play Jury, but he doesn't know how I play the character. I felt like that was the only reason I kind of took a game off of him. Because he just wasn't familiar enough with me. I think a lot of times in this game, it's more player knowledge, more so than character knowledge.
Ultimately,
I agree.
And I'm okay with that.
Everyone does moves different. Everyone has a different game plan. Like what one person does, they're not gonna do the same as the other. So different play styles.
And then like I noticed that Kurt he likes to anti-air parry a lot. Like the first time he would do that to me, I'd be like, okay.
Not Chato and the Aftercast joining you on that too in the chat.
I'm like, I would look at that. I'd be like, okay, he got me that first time. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna jump at him again. Oh, he parried. I got something for you. Because I'm just gonna empty jump. I'm just gonna empty jump. See you parry, and then I'm just gonna go into a 30 or 40% combo. If I got level 3, I know I can get at least 50.
Well, don't forget now, I can adapt too. Chato will tell you too. I actually got him a few times. But yeah, but no, for real though. No, I got no. But part of it was me testing you, understanding what I'm gonna do and everything. So, and of course, since Aftercast and Chato definitely co-sign, and which is also true. No, definitely. I like this game of chess though, but definitely, my DJ is not the same. I would definitely say that for them.
It ain't like the other DJs you done fought out.
I'm actually
Everyone,
learning to play
you know,
DJ differently almost each time now.
okay.
No, I'm maxing jury out.
All
Like
right.
if you ever see me play online, I don't use level 1 or level 3. I'm in rank now. I only use level 2
You better use level
because
3 or 1.
Interesting.
I got
as
some.
as another jury player tells me, if you don't know how to use Feng Shui engine, you're a shit jury player.
Well,
Because
damn.
unless you unlock Feng Shui and take it to its maximum potential, you're never going to fully unlock that character. Her level 1 is not really that useful. Level 3, like you don't really need. Once you're in Diamond and Master, you have to be, as a jury player, you have to know Feng Shui. That is something that every jury player tell you. Once you get to higher levels, you have to know Feng Shui. There's no way around it.
That's good practice, at least. Like you're just like you're committed to just doing, level 2 and then practicing mix-ups and scenarios off of that. Interesting. Okay, that's interesting. I think that's a interesting take to take on the character, because again, everyone plays it differently, and you mentioned that feng shui is a big part of your game plan. However, there may be a jury or two out there that don't even use feng shui. Yo, I promise you, I know of an ed player that doesn't use his level 2. He never uses level 2 in a match. It's always level 3 or level 1.
His level 2 is not key to his character. Like Jury's Feng Shui is key to her character. That's why in Street Fighter V, she really wasn't as good as she could have been because they gimped it. That's why when she came out at 6 and they took it back to where it was in Street Fighter 4, where now she has a meter, it's a lot better now because now I have a timer. I know I have to get these mix-ups in this amount of time instead of just every move I do takes away from my meter. Like, no, I can string together as many moves as I want to in Feng Shui. It doesn't take away from my timer meter. It slows it down a bit. But if you're like, trust me, if go talk to any of your jury players up there in Atlanta, they'll tell you, you need to know Feng Shui.
So you see, so let me get this straight, and just to make sure I'm trying to get this right. So if you're an ed player, are you saying that level 2 is not needed for him to be good?
No, like it's stylish.
No.
It looks cool. But I'd
Okay.
rather have his level 3.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not fully utilizing the full potential of the character if you're not learning the level 2. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the player would only use level 3 and level 1. They would never do level 2. And they just told me it was just based off of a comfort thing, and that's their play style. But they're already in master rank, so they gotten that far just off of just doing that. But it's not using every tool of the character. So then my question to you is, since you're relying heavily on the feng shui, are you really maximizing the potential of the character if you're not using all of her tools? That includes level 1 and level 3 setups.
To me, it's not about maximizing her right now. I'm trying to learn all the insides and out of Feng Shui. And the only way you can do that is by taking away those options and say, I'm going to win or I'm going to lose, but I'm going to win or lose using this Feng Shui. I can use level 1. I know the combos to get into it, target combos, all that stuff, but it's not teaching me what I need to know. Because once I get to master or higher ranks in diamond, there's going to be points and times where you're going to need Feng Shui to make that comeback. And it's been times when I played in Diamond now where I've made a comeback basically because I had Feng Shui. I Feng Shui engine into a combo into a level 1 just to win that round because I needed it.
But you
So
use
it's,
level 1 though.
yeah, because I knew it was going to, because I
You use
knew
level 1.
I could
Don't you
use, no, I still use it from time to time. Like if I know it's going to kill and I know this Feng Shui engine combo is going to end right here and I can use level 1 to kill him, why would I not use it?
Mm-hmm. So you
He's got
basically
one.
say you get more versatility off of using the feng shui versus just going into raw level 3. Well, not raw level 3, but just going into a level 3 combo. You get
Yeah,
more.
I'm trying to think of level 3. If I combo into it, gives me about 40s, I think about 48, 46, depending on the combo. If I block a DP I can do drive rush heavy, crouching fierce, drive rush heavy, standing meter. And if I have all my stocks, I can dump all 3 stocks and get about 54, 56 damage off of that, off of miss DP.
And that's after that's comboing into the feng shui
No, excuse
activation.
me. If I do if I do that combo, it gives me 60, I think 61 to 62%, especially if it's a CA. It just depends on the situation. Like if I know I need to make a comeback, level 3 is not going to get me a comeback. It's going to give me a good chunk of damage, but feng shui gives me that damage and it gives me a mix up. So now
on
I
top
put
of
you in
having level 1 as a reversal, just in case.
Yeah. So now I put you in a situation where now you have to guess. So either you're gonna wake up with an invincible move. But if I safe jump you, if you don't know I can safe jump you and you try to do it, then that's GG's. There's a lot of options that people don't understand with feng shui. That's why when I talk to other jury players, they pretty much say, dude, you gotta learn this. You may not like using feng shui, but you need to at least have that in your back pocket. And when you look at Uma, he won $1 million. What did he win the $1 million doing? He wasn't using level 1. He wasn't using level 3. He won it on feng shui.
Feng shui. He cranked the feng shui. Okay. $1 million activation.
And that's just like I say, people like certain characters, their level 3s are better than other characters. It's just plain and simple. Like I would rather spend 2 bar especially if I got 3 bars already and it's in the second round, why would I not burn feng shui? Because if I get the win, I'm already back at 2 bars. So I'm going into the third round with a feng shui engine already loaded.
And he could potentially get another.
Like it's just more so the more I've grown as a player, the more if I look to say, okay, I need to start understanding meter, how to control my meter, when to use it, when not to use it, what to use it for. Like that's just things just learned that playing with Kurt and them that I learned just basically how to dissect the game. That's why even when I look at our own players, I might not be as good as a player, but I can look at our tournament games and I can see mistakes that you players make.
Okay. Right. So it's the way of breaking it down, like from a different perspective. Okay, I see the vision.
Like I say, it's just like with me playing. It's just like me playing you. It's like when we played in the Street Fighter V thing. Like I knew Sagat versus Falk. That's a bad matchup because she could just low profile all his fireballs and basically just attack my feet the whole time. But there were times when I just like, okay, I just messed up and I made a mistake and I should have been able to kill him right there. I didn't activate at the right time. I allowed him to jump at me when I shouldn't have. I know what he was going for when he tried to do the stomp into a cross up over me. I picked the wrong button. Like it's more to me, it's more like understanding. I look at what Joel said when he came on the podcast. I'm trying to be in that point where I'm not lost.
Okay. You're not lost. Okay. Well, I mean, that just goes to show like your road to getting better as a player. Like you're at I feel like you're at a different level now than when you compare yourself to like maybe a year or so ago. Like you're retaining more knowledge, you have more awareness about situations versus when you compare yourself to from a year ago.
Trust me, Shadow. Like when I went to Max Mode last year, if I could show you a picture, I have that image of me playing what's his name? Campaign. And that picture's been sitting on the wall ever since that day I got home. Not gonna happen again.
What was the picture of?
When we were sitting there, we were playing on stream that time.
Oh. Okay.
All right, now that's been my motivation.
That was the motivation since then. Okay. Said no repeats. It's gonna be different. Okay. I like it. I like it. Well, I mean, hopefully, we'll link up at Max Mode and chopped up. Hopefully, see some of the making people out there too as well. Speaking of, now that you mention it, Retro, we got some ads on the way. We got some ads coming up here.
Indeed, we do. Hold on, give me 1 second of the update. This. I'll put it in here. That's old. Okay. So, shortly before Maximo for sure, we have our event. Excuse me. And next month, the Easy Card Convention, we will have the tournament featured there. Of course, if you want to, this is a spectating side, so if you want to just check it out, what the event is about. Of course, we'll have vendors, we'll have food trucks, we're definitely going to have cosplay contests and DJs and some live performances and some special guests for a guest panel. So and obviously some anime to feature. So, and anime trivia. So that's mainly the feature so far. We have some more stuff up our sleeves, but more particularly, just more of the tournament stuff. Here's some more details of that. So of course we have a $300 pot. So far, is going to increase, and that was confirmed. And so we're gonna have Match Arena, and so that the pot bonus is going to be even bigger. So excited to announce that. Of course, right now we are in the early bird registration until the week of. Right now it's $45. On the week of, we push to $55, and on the day of, it's $60 to enter the tournament. So definitely hurry up. And I think Start GG is doing an update on some tax for their tax for revenue for their website and all. So a little extra tax they added to it. So definitely hurry up and try to apply and enter as soon as possible, so you can save some money for the event, especially entering tournament. There are also hotels that are available. That's also on our link to the tournament, and I'll go ahead and plug it in the chat so that way you can see the Start DG and stuff like that. And that's it for our end. But I know that, of course, this will be the more all Georgia event, and I have Mr. Shadoways to definitely tell us more about the max mode.
Yeah, I blinked and I was like, "Dang, that we're already in year 2. That's that's time for you." But yeah, man, just almost pretty much 2 months away before Max Mode goes down again. April 25th to the 27th is the address there. If you want more information, you can always go on Twitter or X.com and look up at data FGC or data underscore FGC. Click on their main page. The sign up link may be on that pin post or in their main page on there. It'll take you directly to that website where you can sign up, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. It was definitely a great experience last time. Beautiful location, lots to do within the area for sure. So looking to make even more memories and that year too. So registration is live and available. So go ahead and get that taken care of and see you around that time.
And all right, that's all the announcements that we have for now. Okay. So yeah, of course, we have closing
Okay.
remarks. We have long podcast.
Yeah, I think this was our. You know what? I didn't even pay attention to it because I was like, this was such a good time. I was like, oh damn, we went extra over. Oh yeah, we went extra over. But you know what? That's a good thing. I think this. I mean, at least we could say this was the longest episode of the season so far. It holds the world record. So there you go. So congratulations, FGC Chris, for being part of history there on that. Because this is yeah, everything else didn't even come close to this. So yeah, man, there'll be a lot to look over. Again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you, FGC Chris, for taking your time out to come and chat with me and Retro about a few topics here. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Um, so outside of that, FGC Chris, where can the good people find you at?
You can find me on X at FGC Chris, also on YouTube, FGC Chris, Instagram, same thing. That's pretty much all my social medias. Twitch, the same thing. I'm just really just practicing and just working on stuff and just trying to improve my game overall.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm ready to do a first to 10 with retro.
That's
You
fine.
gonna show the feng shui? The feng shui, man.
I just want to try some stuff, just test some stuff out.
Yeah, it's been a while since.
All right, well,
yeah, it's been a while since we last played each other. Actually, I do haven't seen how you've been progressing for sure. I'm proud of you. Let me see how well you do against me.
So you know what? I think it could be turned into a little event. A good maybe get a one day out the week. We can make the arrangements to get the first to 10 underway between you two.
I just want to see where I stand at right now against Retro.
Because
I think Retro, because I beat Ricardo, but Retro, I haven't beat him yet.
Okay, so he's on the list then.
So it's like time to start climbing. It's time to start climbing those mountains.
All
right. Well, there it is. I guess that'll be a future endeavor there. It's gonna be Retro versus FGC Chris. First to 10.
Sounds good. We'll make
arrangements. With that being said, we're out the door. Retro, where can good people find you at?
Pretty much virtually anywhere. Sir Retro08 on Twitter /X. Of course, on YouTube. Obviously, you guys here on Twitch, Instagram, Facebook as well. Virtually anywhere you can find me, you look me up. And of course, in the Discord we have, in the Middle Georgia FTC Discord, of course, you can be more than welcome to join that. I'm there. And of course, if you want to reach out to me for any questions, and like I said, matches, anything, come out to our events, I'm pretty much available for the most part. So, yeah. Like I said, thank you. So, follow me on whatever you can. And, yeah, I appreciate it. And, of course, Shadow is the man with the most and the co-host. Where good people find you?
All right, yo, you can check me out on Twitter or X at Mind of Shadow Ace on there. Usually, you can find me here on the podcast series, as well as other endeavors that I go ahead and work on. Maybe one day could get us some acknowledgement from Capcom themselves directly, maybe sponsorship by Capcom directly. That's how we made it. If we get to that goal one day and just be like, all right, now we're partnered or sponsored by Capcom, that would be crazy. That would be like the craziest glow up in history. So hopefully, one day that could be a thing. But for right now, we're just gonna keep climbing the ranks, keep grinding, and who knows? Who knows what we'll be talking with next time? I mean, it could be a Capcom employee. It could be a top player. It could be a low player. Like, this is a community open discussion, so don't be afraid. Hit us up. Let us know you down. You want to get in on the episode, and we can make it happen. But for right now, Retro is going to get this edited and up for your viewing pleasure next business day. There, usually by 12 noon your time. If there's any delay, let us know. But as it stands right now, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you've been with us since the beginning, you were in here for quite a long time, but we appreciate you. But with that being said, GG's. Thank you all for tuning in. Catch us next time for episode 11. And Retro, where are you going to send the good people?